Welcome back to the Cretaceous era, everyone. Getting a little bit of a late start tonight, but this is Legacy of Silvercreek, and we are back here with the Stream Punks. Happy Halloween to everybody. That's going to be tomorrow. If I can go ahead and segue into our very first announcement. If you are a member of the Stream Punks Discord, if you are a supporter, at the $10 level, I believe it's champion is what we named that. The $10 level. Do I have that wrong, Sam? Do you happen to remember? Sam's going to go double check. It's been a hot minute. Okay, we came up
I don't
with like
have to
30
check
different
companion tier.
companion tier. Okay,
we came like up with
what's that?
Like a dino companion.
Like a dino companion tier. We came up with like 30 different names for the tiers, and I always ADHD my way through which one did we pick again? Like 3 years later. So, yeah, if you're at the companion level tier, which is $10. We are going to be doing our Halloween game. For those of you who are staying in tomorrow night and ingesting copious amounts of candy corn like me, and if you're a hater of candy corn, please send them my way. Then we are going to be playing a Halloween game over in the Discord. It'll be me, Noir, Panita, and Noir and Anita, and that's it. Nobody else. All four of us, all six of us. No, Sam's going to be there. I'm not letting Sam off.
Wait, what? Oh,
yeah. We'll be playing Monster of the Week. So if you are staying in for Halloween, do join us. It'd be cool to have you guys pop in. The VOD will be available for those of y'all who have missed it and who have plans and social lives. Unlike me. So that's the only announcement that I had this evening. I'm going to pass it off. Anybody else have anything they'd like to announce? Anything they'd like to get out? Oh, fine. Go ahead, Caitlin.
Hi. In the topic of spooky season, Thin Places Radio episode 022 came out on Friday, and then I had to unpublish it and put it back out again because I only exported the credits. Woo! So anyways, it's out now, and if you are a listener, I would recommend refreshing your feed before you try to listen to it, because otherwise you're just going to hear the credits. But otherwise, we'll be back for the next episode next week. Things are getting weird, and if you need something kind of spooky, kind of calm to listen to over the Halloween week, you should check it out.
Sweet. Okay. Thank you, Caitlin. Anybody else have anything that? Yeah, Cynthia.
Mine's kind of specific, but if you are in the San Antonio area this weekend, I will be in San Antonio playing a vampire LARP put on by By Night Studios, and I'll be playing your prince. So if you're in the area and want to come see me in real person, real live, come join. Tickets are available on By Night Studios, all the social medias, and their website. There you have it.
Awesome, man. I'm so jealous. I miss my hometown so much. I miss it. I love it. You're on the Riverwalk, right? Are you guys right next to the Riverwalk?
Oh. Yeah, we're going to be at Hotel Valencia.
Oh, that's so fucking awesome. Man. I'm so jealous. I miss my hometown. All right, well, cool. Anybody else have any other announcements that would make me happy yet miserable? Anyone? Anyone at all? Sam's brightening up, so that must be something. Yes, Sam?
Well, now that I have been a little off-put by the notion I will, in fact, be exposed to spoopies tomorrow, I guess that's happening. But if you don't have enough yet in your roleplay, you might want some in your science. Every week at 8 a.m. Pacific time, I share a newly published finding in the scientific literature, and tomorrow, Tuesday at 8 a.m., I found a lovely little haunted one. So you can check out all the archives of my extant science on youtube.com/@delevely, DELEVELY, and you can join us for the live stream for a special episode. And that's all we're going to do, right? No other scary things, right? No other scary things. Good. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so excited. No other scary things at all.
Let's go ahead and jump into tonight's chapter of Legacy of Silvercreek. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to go ahead and jump right back into the game where we left off, which was at sort of a crossroads for the group, as y'all's party has been divided. Half of you guys are at SATI Site 000E. Well, I shouldn't say half. I would say most of you all are at SATI Site 000E, while the one of you, along with a companion, is off trying to sort of lead everyone else astray. Now, just as a quick refresher, though, it is worth noting that Ozzy does have the device. So it is, in fact, in the hands of Ozzy, who is moved in the opposite direction of the SATI bunker. However, at the SATI bunker itself, complications have arisen in the fact that the butterflies apparently somehow knew you guys were here, or that you were coming here, or knew to track you, or maybe they were waiting in the tree line. You don't know. You had an encounter with one of the members of the butterflies, a very big burly fellow named Krashad, who at least one of you, Clover, knows quite well from, or at least has heard of or is familiar with. Krashad is a rider on the back of a very large T-Rex, and kind of just laid down a little bit of the intimidation factor and threatened, and is hinting that he will be returning. When you all arrived, you learned about Krashad. You learned about what you think might be a limited time frame into which the butterflies might return. Right now, last we talked on the subject, Zach is very anxious and wanting to get you all out of here as quickly as possible to complete whatever mission you're here for, find out whatever you need to know, and then get out of here. The sort of strike team that Krashad is a part of is a small group of butterflies who are known for being the tip of the spear when it comes to taking care of business on behalf of the butterflies. He is one of 3 riders who his companion is a T-Rex. T-Rexes, of course, as we all know from our childhood to now, are incredibly deadly and very dangerous, and you don't want to mess with them. To come across 4 riders of the butterflies that are using T-Rex, these are their elite soldiers. So the concept right now is that y'all need to get out of here, get your business done, and get out of here. But when we last left off, there was a bit of an argument taking place. Zach was kind of martyring himself a little bit because there was this deep concern that he was going to he could not save the group from themselves since they were all so deeply inclined to constantly put themselves in danger. And since he couldn't talk them out of it, he was going to basically throw himself on the sword if he had to protect, if that's what it took for them to protect. This, of course, spurred a little bit of an argument between him and Clover. And while this was happening, Dahlia saw what appeared to be an apparition of herself in the hallways leading deeper into the bunker. And without any hesitation, the apparition moving into the hallway, Dahlia thought to follow and has set off into the hallways, following down into these darkened corridors that have not been lit for some time. Following this, you're not sure what it is, Dahlia, but whoever she is, she looks exactly like you, and she seems to want you to follow her. She looks like a slightly older version of you, something very similar to what you've been seeing in these dreams you've been having, these visions. Wearing very similar clothes to what you've seen in some of the visions. So, are there time shenanigans? We don't know. We just know that Dahlia has decided to go follow this unusual event and occurrence. And only, if I remember correctly, right when we left that, you guys had only just noticed that Dahlia wasn't, if I remember correctly, some of y'all decided to go and follow after. Was that correct?
I
So-
followed Dahlia,
Yeah.
and
'Cause-
then I believe Clover and Zach had their brief conversation, and then Clover had something that she was planning on doing
yeah.
when
So
they split, but I don't remember what she was doing.
This is easy because since we don't have Elisa tonight, it's easy enough to just say that Clover is going to stay behind and futz with this computer to see if she can get this up and going, because Clover is completely hooked on this computer right now. This is a big science machine. While all of that is happening, on the opposite end of the valley where you all are, this huge open space between this giant gap in the Red Jaw Wilds where Silvercreek rests. On the other side of Silvercreek, just across the river, heading back, more of the mystery is slowly being unwound or possibly tangled up even more. This gentleman that you've encountered, Orega, he is been doing slow reveals about this device and how much he needs it to get home. He seems to suggest that he's been very vague about specifically where he is from and what he does and those sorts of things. But suspicions are certainly in the air, but he has not been very forthcoming as to where his allegiance really lies. He's not a butterfly, apparently. and has been kind of blending in somehow has managed to blend into that and has passed himself off as a butterfly. It still kind of defies logic how that would be even possible, but it seems like he's done it. And right now, he is convinced both Ozzy and I think Ozzy and Tara both are. It might be a bit presumptuous to say you're convinced, but at the very least, you're headed back with him because he's revealed that the really needs to get that device to SATI Site 000E. He's also made a strange offer of taking you with him, Ozzy, if you were interested. But he hasn't explained where that is, where that goes. So we're going to pick up tonight with Ozzy on the way back to the SATI site. You guys have crossed the river once again. It is late at this point, and it is still post-rain. So, to set the stage, just so we remember where we left off, when the sun went down and the moon came up, you guys departed Silvercreek and split, using the cover of dark to try to get to your destinations without encountering any of the butterflies. Travel has been done in both different directions. It's probably about 3 in the morning at this point, 3:30 or so in the morning. So it's quite late. It has been a long day. And to make things even worse, because it is post-rain weather, and because the hurricane that blew through here has finally moved out and the land is beginning to settle, the occasional fat drops of rain slapping against these great big blades of grass that are all waist high as you're all moving through them have been replaced by a slow rolling fog that has started to settle in and humidity that has started to gather. Anybody who is native to Silvercreek, aka Terra, has already begun to warn both you and Orega that come sunup, this place is going to be darkened with mosquitoes. That in the aftermath of that rain, it'll take all of a few hours before this entire area near the swamp, as the three of you are kind of trudging through. She is murmuring, just like, I just got to get away from the swamp. I don't even care where we go. I just got to get away from the swamp. You just hear her saying that to herself over and over and over again. So, as we push through, I'm going to ask Ozzy to make a perception check. So any kind of like awareness or perception of what's going on.
Is it related to noticing dangers?
It's not, thankfully.
Ah.
So yeah.
All right.
So yeah.
What's the difficulty?
The difficulty of this is 2. So Vern isn't going to be able to help you on this one.
No, it is not. Yeah.
Vern is crunching through what appears to be another insect that Vern has caught.
Okay. Because
yeah.
Got it. 19.
Okay. 19. So with the 19, I'm going to say that despite the disadvantages that are currently piled up against you, specifically the moonless night, the cloud cover, and the fog that's rolled in, Ozzy, you have actually done a pretty good job keeping your eye on the tree lines and the horizon and getting a general sense of which direction to go. Perhaps maybe it's your Osteon abilities that are kind of latent, maybe also helping direct you, but for whatever reason, you know the direction you're going without having to get lost, without adding any further complications. And indeed, at one point, it starts to become apparent to you, Ozzy, as you're trudging through this thick grass and hearing the squishing of the mud underneath your feet. Orega and Terra appear to be constantly looking in your direction. You have assumed the role of leader at this point, as the 3 of you are trudging through. Also, it is also worth noting that kind of trailing around, not necessarily next to you guys, but kind of following slowly, is a raptor that belongs to Orega. This raptor has not really assumed a role of walking by you all, but is kind of like lingering off in the distance, and it will occasionally get close. And much like a neighborhood cat that really wants your attention, but don't you touch me. It's kind of the same attitude that you get from the raptor. The raptor kind of continues to move alongside. Orega does not seem to be concerned.
On a scale of Bambi to Dakota, how big is this raptor?
Raptor's about 7 feet standing full at its full height. So it is much more akin to a Deinonychus than anything else.
Yeah,
It
no, we're
is-
practically at Condition Utah here. All right, got it.
Yeah. No, it is a deadly raptor. It was capable of carrying a rider. So
Fair enough.
yeah, so Orega came riding in on one of these guys. But yeah, it's acting kind of standoffish, not necessarily friendly or hostile, but it does follow the group. And when you all stop to take a break or just like to get some water out of your canteens, the raptor will sort of kind of walk in a circle and sniff around for a second and act like it's not interested. And as soon as you all start up again, it'll continue to follow after you. Norega looks back at him from time to time.
So you made friends not too long ago, I presume. How'd you manage that?
Oh, this one? He glances back. I really don't know, to be perfectly honest. Just seemed to take to me.
Did the butterflies teach you how to get along with dinos, or?
For the most part, yes. They had to refresh my memory.
Refresh.
It's been a while since I've been around dinos, as they say.
Oh, so have you come and visited Dino Times before?
Dino times?
How come Gravak wasn't inaccessible to you?
He kind of squints his eyes as he regards you, openly casting a suspicion on you. But you get the impression it's slightly playful in nature as he eyes you for a moment and says, "What exactly are you asking me?"
Well, Gravak was inaccessible, but you're here.
Oh. I think I understand.
I don't. Can you explain it?
Sorry, what I mean is, I think I understand what you think you understand. You think I'm a time traveler.
Yeah. Are you?
That's a very difficult question to answer.
See, for most people, that answer is just a pretty easy no.
Yeah. Not me, though.
No. So, is it kind of time or kind of travel? Which bit's fuzzy for you?
Little A, little B. I understand this. This is going to be a very frustrating conversation. So let me tell you what I can tell you, and then we can take it from there.
Sure.
There is a kind of temporal element to what it is that I do. There is a definitely a travel element to what it is that I do. I don't know really how to. I've never had this conversation before. It's new to me. I don't know how much I can truly help you understand.
Oh, I'm really used to people explaining things that are over my head. Go for it.
I don't really even know where to start. I'm not from Gravak. And I think I can play it safe and leave it there. Maybe ask me something else.
I already knew that. Fine. What do you call the weird thing that was around your neck?
What weird thing that was around my neck?
Like a kind of strip of cloth thing.
Strip of cloth?
It's like it was choking you. Oh, maybe I shouldn't ask that. Yeah, like went around here, went down to there.
He doesn't seem to understand. He kind of glances at you for a moment and says, "It's possible you've eaten a mushroom or maybe something that hasn't agreed with you."
after that one time, I'm really, really careful now.
He glances over at Tara, who's not really paying attention. Tara mostly is just keeping her eye out as you guys are trudging through. You guys can see, by the way, off in the distance, far, far to your left, the small little firefly lights of Silvercreek. Probably about 1.5 miles away to your left now as you're passing by where you came from. To your right, to give you some perspective, to your right, you're probably about 1 mile away from Jaeger Swamp to your right. So south of you right now is Silvercreek as you're kind of passing through. You're in that sort of middle area in a safe zone. So nothing to worry about. No big scaly things coming at you tonight. However, Tara looks like she is very much on alert, just the way Zach asked her to be. She's stopping every now and then to look around, but she does not take her eye off the raptor. She keeps looking back at it. And she's also oblivious to your conversation because as she leans into you, Ozzy, you get the impression she hasn't heard a thing that you two have been talking about. She says, so long as that raptor's on our side, I think it's going to scare away just about anything that wants to come around and fuck with us.
As long as it's on our side.
Maybe. She just goes back to keeping her eye on it and walking.
Can I lean in? Just like I'll take like those 2 quick steps to catch up and lean in and you could beat it in a fight though, right?
Raptor?
Yeah.
She takes one more glance over at it and she looks at you and just goes. She says, if the raptor attacks you, run. Do not look back.
But you can take it in a fight though, right?
Ozzy, no. I can't. Zach wouldn't be able to take it in a fight. That's a full-blown, that is a raptor. That if that thing comes at us, you run. Your best chance of survival is that it gets satisfied with me or him.
Don't worry, Tara. I run slower than you.
It's completely situational, Ozzy.
You wouldn't say that if you've seen me run. Do you have a water filter? I'm kind of running low.
She pulls out a cantina and hands it to you. Canteen, I should say, and hands it to you. And she says, it's completely situational because when a raptor attacks, it decides what the situation is. Just keep an eye out. I have a feeling the reason why it hasn't jumped at us yet is because the other one isn't around anymore. Despite the fact that they're killing machines, raptors don't like to attack unless they got their pack nearby.
Fair enough. I guess we're kind of the same way.
She nods. Very much so. God damn, I wish Atticus was here right about now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Atticus, that's the big one, right? I think I saw Atticus when I ran into Zach earlier.
Oh, wow. You really have been paying attention.
Nods.
People around here are good with names.
So, are we going to be running into Zach when we get to the bunker? Will he be there?
I don't know. Maybe. A good chunk of the time, someone seems to go wandering off in directions away from Zach, and then Zach's like,
Let's just get there then. All right. You guys continue to trudge on through the wetlands, pushing closer and closer to the Red Jaw Wilds. Right now, in the time frame of the game, an encounter with a T-Rex is happening at the bunker. To give you an idea of where you are in relation to events that are happening across the way. That being said, we're going to jump ahead now to the events that are taking place at the bunker as we left them. And we're going to start with Dahlia, who is reaching the edge of where the light reaches inside this corridor. there is detritus and all sorts of like rusted and used pieces of tech that are unrecognizable littering the hallways. There are things that look like gurneys that have been folded over and kind of just left discarded. Also, a lot of signs that creatures have made their homes in here. Lots of webs, lots of signs of insects, lots of signs of animals. You're coming across this starting to look like a metal cave, is what it's starting to look like. And yet, the other version of you just walks fearlessly into the dark right ahead of you and kind of fades from view as you move closer. Now, if I remember correctly, one of you at least, and I believe it was actually Joe, made a mention that they actually had a light on them.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I believe torches were also passed out, but Joe does have a small lamp or something to that effect.
Okay, cool. So, Zach, Clover has decided to stay behind and work on this mainframe. What are you doing while all this is happening?
So last we saw Zach, he was just kind of spreading out his weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's putting it on his person and act in a way where he can grab it when he needs it. So shield in hand, chainsaw in the other hand, bow and quiver on the back, and now he's simply scoping out entry points to find if these guys come, where are they most likely to come.
Okay. Just from your point of view, Zach, so far all you can see is the only way to access this place is through the incredibly defensible area of having to scale that 80-foot climb on a rope to get to the lip of the entryway. So if nothing else, if they do decide to come moving in here, their T-Rex ain't coming inside. What it looks like is that's probably, at least at the moment, that's the only entryway that you can see from where you are. Doesn't look like there's any other way into this place. Most of it looks like it's buried, either from seismic activity over the past century, or maybe there was an accident or an explosion, but it looks like most of it's been buried. It's also kind of awe-inspiring, Zach. You're standing inside what would be considered sort of a temple to your ancestors. This is where the first commuters built one of the original bunkers. So all around you are artifacts of an age that does not exist, at least in the timeline that you live in now. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I think with the setup the way it is, he'll actually put the shield and the chainsaw on a table next to him in an area where he could get the best visibility on anybody climbing. But before he sets down to just go full sentry, he wants to make sure that there aren't any other entryways that somebody could flank him with.
Right.
So once he's confirmed that the only way up is that rope, then he's going full sentry. It's just going to keep an eye to make sure nobody can get up there.
Okay.
With bow and arrow in hand.
So you're basically going to just stay here then while all of this is happening?
He's going looking to make sure there are no other entries first.
Gotcha. Okay. So then the only other place to go then is out of the room and into the corridor where everyone else has wandered into.
Yeah, then it's probably he's going in there for a specific purpose.
Right.
He's
okay.
Not gonna lollygag.
In which case, if you enter into that corridor at this point, Dahlia, you're going to see the lights from the lamps kind of shining on the walls and all in front of you. You see them kind of bouncing on the shoulders and being held as they walk behind you. From a distance, they're closing in, but your party is basically trying to catch up. You're actually able to see a little bit further down the corridor where she is walking, and you can still see her. Curiously enough, she is manifesting to you like she is physically there. So the light's touching her, and you lose sight of her when she steps into the darkness.
I'm going to call out to her. Hello?
She pauses and looks back at you and just nods, and then turns back and continues to walk.
Okay, that's not helpful.
When you the lot of you begin to push your way closer. First of all, I should state that you all hear that Dolly is talking to somebody, but you don't see anyone down the corridor. As you continue pushing your way into the darkness, though, and you're catching up to Dahlia, you're starting to see that there are multiple rooms down here. This place looks like a slightly more futuristic version of a Fallout shelter. And you're walking past on this graded catwalk. You're walking past these open doors to what looks like may have been once facilities or server rooms or some kind of like research area. A lot of it looks like it's been damaged and whatnot, but it's hard to say. But at one point, Zach, you would spot as you were moving through this darkened corridor to your right, you see one of the rooms you walk past looks like it may have been possibly a barracks of some kind. You can see what's apparently looks like stacks and stacks of these shelves that must have been bedding that stack up towards the ceiling where people could rest and recuperate. Each of you are getting the impression that this place was as much of a domicile as it was a research station.
A bunch of people in one place generally means that someone had to do security. So in this look for another entryway, I think he's going to scrounge for anything that might be useful for defense, flares, any kind of fire starting equipment. The fire will help with the T-Rexes. That's where his mind is focused right now.
Yeah.
And any other weapons that pass out to the non-combatants just so they have some method of defense.
Okay. In which case, I'm going to treat that like you're searching for a cipher.
Woo! Let's do it.
It's very rare in Predation to do a search for cipher roll when you're not near a time anomaly. And at least as far as you can tell, there is none nearby. But here we go. So go ahead and make me a difficulty 3 check here. And this is going to be an intellect-based roll.
So that means I need to get at least 9, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm learning.
Yep.
I think an ox. Would we mind too terribly if one were to use an ox point?
I love that y'all are doing this on the regular now because there are so many wonderful supporters out there that are giving us their blessings. So let's go ahead and cue that up. So you want to use an ox point?
Yeah, let's shout somebody out.
Yeah, let's shout somebody out.
My took is potentially.
Yeah. So, big shout out tonight to one randomly rolled Kato, aka Kato.
All right, Kato, it's you and me. We got this. We're in this together. If I fail, it's your fault.
It's your fault, Kato.
That's a nat 20. Never mind.
Kato's not going to suffer any of our bullshit.
The dice said, "Don't you dare! Don't you dare speak ill of our ox crew."
Of Kato, aka Kato.
It was such a disrespectful beat with the actual 22. It rolled twice 20. And it was like, here I am.
Yeah, it was a fuck you 20.
Think about
it. Totally was, yeah. It totally was.
All right, Kato.
All right, so do me a favor. Roll a d6.
Okay, let me, I have those ready. Oh, here they are in this drawer. That'll be a 4.
4, okay. That's going to be... Okay, so now roll me a d10.
Ooh, I've got that on deck too. Thank you, Vampire the Master. That's a 9.
A 9?
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like the way the voice rolls when I said 9.
What is that? Roll a d6 if you would, please.
Oh, boy. I'm going to use a different die. Let's see.
This is another black hole bomb cipher system.
You're pretty. Oh, 6.
Okay, so this is a level 11 cipher.
Is that good?
No, I'm sorry. This is level 11, but it's not a cipher. It's an artifact.
Am I gonna die?
Terrible. You find.
Good.
Oh, okay.
When activated, this device unfolds into the size and shape of a pterosaur. It can soar, guide, and fly under remote control of a user up to a mile away, records and projects images directly into the skin of the user as commanded.
Robo
It's a
Kimmy.
tiny device. It's basically a small drone version. Every time you use it, you roll a d20. And if you ever roll a 1, it becomes depleted. Otherwise,
Okay.
you can use it as often as you like. And because it's level 11, that is the challenge rating that people have to roll against to see it, to hit it, to any of that is how difficult this device is. So basically, you find what looks like a small folded black glossy cube-like device. It almost looks like it's thin enough that it almost looks like a square. And as you pick it up and kind of look at it for a second, all of a sudden, like liquid metal, it splits into a seam from one corner to the next and folds open like origami. And opening out of it, you see what could be best described as a little cybernetic-looking pterosaur that stands up into the palm of your hand and folds its wings down. Its eyes begin, you see them like red little beads of light activate inside of its metallic-looking skull, and it stands there.
So like when he picks it up and it starts to fold into like liquid metal and origami, he drops it and like scoots back.
You drop it and it just unfolds itself.
Like pointing his arrow at it. And then
it unfolds. It's about this big. It unfolds. You can see just a few feet away is a very small, black, glossy looking, something very similar to the device itself, but this looks like it has more of a glass casing. It looks kind of like a deactivated iPhone, and it's just kind of laying there off to the side. It comes to life too. Like this little data pad just goes, you see it load up. And it says unit online. And it shows that it is blinking in standby mode. This thing has been powered off for probably about 100 years, and it's still at full charge. And the little pterosaur turns and faces you and stands there.
I don't know what the hell this is. Okay. Go cube. Go back to cube. Please.
It does not move. It just stands there. You just see that device next to it about where it didn't drop off, where it didn't drop onto the floor. The device that you found sitting next to it is blinking right now. It says standing by.
He's gonna pick it up.
You pick it up and it immediately starts flashing like 5 different languages. You see English is on there though, so you're able to understand a few of them. You see Chinese. You do remember seeing some of that in some of Dr. Molina's research material. Looks like the language that she was talking about.
It's gonna tap it when it's English. You just go cube. Go cube. I think eventually he's just gonna like mess around.
Okay. You touch it, and you see a menu open up. And you see, please speak your commands.
Go cube.
Sorry, but that is not a valid command.
Stop being a pterosaur.
Invalid command.
Okay, fly on my shoulder.
You see the wings just start going like a hummingbird's, and it flies over and just goes, and this retracts and sits there. It clinches onto your shoulder with just the right amount of pressure that it's not uncomfortable, and it's stock still. But looks like a little black glossy Decepticon just sitting on your shoulder in the shape of a pterosaur.
Stay quiet, surveil the area, and return if intruders appear.
Sentinel mode activated. It takes off again. Starts to buzz. You see it start to go wavy for a second. The air around it begins to go into this sort of weird distortion, and it vanishes in front of you. And you see a live feed of what it's seeing, and the buzzing sound goes zzz, into a low hum, and it flies out of the room. Presumably, because that's what you're seeing on the device. You don't see it anymore. As it flies out of the room, you see it stop and take stock. You see your other two companions further down the corridor now, shining lights. Dahlia is calling out to somebody. And then it turns back around and zips back into the main room where you see Clover on her back in like her head underneath one of the consoles, and she's rewiring something.
I'll never let anyone know how useful this could be.
Yeah, artifacts are no joke. And in Cypher system, artifacts are the best valued thing you can get. They are not single use. You get to keep them until they are expended. So
yeah, Zach is stressing.
You're looking at this thing. You basically have a cloaked drone that you can send wherever you want.
Oh, this is awful.
Up to a mile away. So yeah.
I guess now that you can kind of keep an eye on the entrance remotely.
Oh yeah, because it zips right. If you want it to, you give it the command, it'll zip right out and just watch everything.
Yeah, that's the command he's gonna give it. He's just gonna stick with the crew and keep his melee weapons on his person.
Okay,
it just
perfect. Roll a d20.
Here we go. That's an 18.
And you can use this non-stop for the rest of this entire scene.
Oh my
and it
God,
will watch everything that is happening outside from Cloak. It is keep in mind that like technically if you're not in the superhero genre, the highest level you can go is 10. This is an 11th level cipher, which means it is theoretically impossible for anything inside this world to be able to detect it. It is outside of being able to visually spot it. So it's zipping around. With that, you continue following him in. Dahlia, you have right now, Joe is backing you up. She comes back and running up right behind you just as you guys are reaching the end of the hallway. The end of the hallway looks like there are two very large sealed double doors and an access panel that looks like it's been deactivated.
Joe, you can.
Yeah.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
A door with a dead access panel.
No, it was.
Oh, a Dahlia thing.
Yeah. You don't
no.
see it.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, do I know if my older self went through these doors?
You don't, but your instinct is telling you that that's the only place she could have gone.
Okay. Joe, do you know how to get through these access panels?
I guess only one way to find out. I'm gonna take a look.
All right, so you move over to the access panel, Joe, and the first thing you notice as you shine light across the dusty surface of this thing is that there is a disturbance of dust all over it. It looks like a handprint. The handprint itself has a layer of dust on it. So it was done some time ago, but not so far as 100 years ago. Someone's been here relatively recently. If you want to try to wire it, you can make an intellect check if you have anything that would help you.
Yes.
Okay.
So what is my difficulty?
Difficulty of this SATI tech, it's powered down. I'm going to set the difficulty of this at 5.
Cool. Okay.
So it is not easy, but then again, you're Joe.
We'll find out. Okay, so my tech toolkit is an asset on tech tasks.
Okay.
So that knocks me down to 4.
So
I
12.
have I am specialized in computer systems.
This counts. Yeah.
So down to 2.
I'm gonna recant that because you're technically trying to hardwire something, so it's not necessarily.
Oh yeah, this would be
more of
mechanical.
this. Yeah.
Would I get anything for it being SATI tech? This is the tech even if it's a little older, it's the type of tech I'd be familiar with.
That's something that you could. This is something that's
I could
actually.
train in.
That's what I was going to say. This is
Yeah.
an aspect where it's a perfect opportunity to use a player intrusion, and you can make that true. In which case, you would instantly gain training in SATI tech for the rest of the scene.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that would be something that you could use as an asset for everything in this facility.
Well, I'm out of XP, so I just level up.
Well, you can spend an ox point if you want.
How many okay, so I have an ability that functions as an asset. If I've used an asset, can I also use that ability? So quick study, when you take a round to study whatever's in front of you and gain the facts, you feel more confident in what you're about to do the right thing. You gain an asset on your next non-combat action. Like if I've just used Tech Toolkit as an asset, can I use that?
Oh no, you can only use one asset.
One asset.
First.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that wrong? Can you use
I thought
two?
it was 2 stacks of asset.
You might be right. Let me do
because Sweet Baby was an asset, and then my kiddo was an
right.
asset.
I'm remembering this now. One sec. It's been a hot minute. Assets. Okay. Damn it. I love how MCG puts all of these brilliant sidebars and everything. Assets can never ease a task by more than 2 steps. And any more than 2 steps from an asset doesn't count. So technically, let's see. Appropriate assets vary tasks. The perfect owl. Okay, so an asset is anything that helps. Yep, like a crowbar. I'm trying to get into a door. Appropriate vary from task to task. The perfect owl might help with the woodworking. Yeah, sure. It doesn't make blah, blah, blah. An asset usually eases the task. So then it doesn't seem to specify. I think what it is using skills, assets, and efforts. You can ease a task. Oh, so you can only use a skill, an asset, and an effort. And the maximum you can ease a task is of 10 steps.
Whoa.
The maximum amount you can, according to the rules on page 209. So
right, so that makes sense if it's 6 levels of effort because you can only go to tier 6, 2 stacks of skills, and 2 stacks of asset.
Right. So yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. So that's going to drop it down to a 9.
Okay. And then I have a skill in manual dexterity / finesse, which is her like technical skills working with she has biorobotics,
sure, a steady
cybernetics.
hand.
Yeah, her steady hand.
Sure.
Would that count here? Okay.
Yeah, I'd let that count. You're going to need that. So it drops it down to 2.
Yeah. And then I'm going to spend to drop at a level.
Okay, that'll drop it down to 1.
And then I'm just going to roll from there. I could drop it another one, but I'm going to
need a 3 or better.
Yeah.
Not 1.
4.
4.
It's dusty in here. Sneakily.
Yeah, your allergies are getting in the way. Yeah, it takes you a minute, but you do gain access. You see there is actually, to your surprise, Joe, this place has power. It looks like it's on standby mode. Like it's been out of use for so long, but you can't imagine. Either this place has been running on low power mode for 100 years, or somebody activated this place recently. But rewiring this, you're able to easily gain access. And Cynthia, Dahlia just basically sees those doors go slide open.
Awesome. Dahlia doesn't even think. She just keeps walking straight ahead.
Right in. Make me a perception check, Dahlia. And you can absolutely. What is your Osteon ability that lets you see?
Yeah, the sees. The unseen.
See and unseen. Yeah.
What does it let you do again?
You can automatically perceive creatures and objects that are normally invisible, out of phase, or only partially in this universe. When looking for things more conventionally hidden, the task is eased.
Okay, cool. That's what you want. So, the difficulty of this is 5. It's automatically going to drop down to 4.
Okay.
And this is for perception. Oh, okay. Drop it 1 more because you've got light in here thanks to Joe.
Yeah.
So drop it down to 3. So you need a 9 or better right now without spending on anything.
I got a 5.
Oh,
okay, so you walk right on in. You stride into the big dark room that has been sealed away from the light of day for over 100 years. With
I don't think Joe's.
absolute-
I don't think Joe's even fall. I think she's still like inspecting the door, like,
Right.
and Dahlia just walks in.
Yeah, Dahlia walks in completely confident that nothing has moved in since you've found this place. I'm sure it's completely vacant inside. I'm sure nothing is in here.
No.
Yeah. So, Dahlia, you stride into the room. First thing you notice is this place looks like NASA control room. You just see row and row and row of what looks like computer consoles for teams of people to be working at, and all of them are caked in dust and disrepair.
Is there a power on button?
There are vaguely glowing lights that are kind of, you can see the lights glowing underneath the smudges of these ancient buttons that have not been pressed in some time. Which one is powering them up? You're not sure. It might be one of those situations where you just tap the keyboard to get the computer to wake up. You're not sure. You just walk over and immediately start slapping the keyboards.
Yeah,
all right.
spacebar. Just tap it a couple times.
You're just like, you start pressing buttons. Okay.
I'm totally not Kermit the Frog right now.
No, you're 100% the chaos goose as you walk over and just start tapping these buttons left and right. You see the computer does start to light up. Just as the computer consoles begin to glow and light up, you see yourself as approaching you from the darkness, just stepping out as the ambient light begins to glow around her. And she steps forward and comes to a stop about 10 feet away from you.
So you gonna talk now? Or you just
I
gonna
like to be
stand there?
mysterious. I like to sort of, get you to follow. So that way.
My God. You speak. Okay, great. Who are you?
I'm somebody who's marveling at the fact that you are so me. Because when I first saw you, I was like, is she really going to just start pressing those buttons? And there you did it. You just did it.
Well, like, we're totally twins here, so I'm not even sure that this is like I don't even know. Like, am I looking at some sort of like time anomaly here? Like, what is going on?
I know it's a little confusing. I'm going to try to explain as much as I can. There's only so much I can go into, but I'm going to do the best I can to sort of like mitigate how irritating it is.
Great.
Yeah. So, first of all, I need you to close the doors behind you. And I know that's weird, but I need you to close the doors behind you.
But my colleagues are here.
Yeah, that's why. I need them to stay out.
Okay.
Just close the doors.
Oh my God, like, how do I do this?
Keep pressing the buttons. You'll find something. You just start slapping and she just watches you with some amusement on her face. And she goes, I really hope that one of those closes the door.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sorry. I just like to imagine this is when Zach finally makes it back to the rest of the group.
Yeah.
And it's just a door in his face.
Yeah, at this point, Joe, I think this is probably a safe spot to where you could either look into the room or hear what's going on, but apparently
She hears for sure, but I think she's stuck on the fact that there's power here, and so I think she's just not really gotten up from where she was like squatting down and tinkering and trying to see where it connects. I think that's where she's paused. But so she hears Dahlia talking, but Dahlia's been talking this whole time. So like, it's the I hear what she's saying, and I will parse it later. Like in 5 minutes when something changes, I will play back and I'll remember everything that she had said. But in the moment, I'm more just like cataloging it in the back while I'm looking at other stuff.
She reaches down finally and just presses a button, and the doors begin to close.
Oh, Dahlia, just closing, and she's like, wait.
Yeah. Make me a perception check, if you would, please, Joe. And the difficulty is going to be outrageously high.
Amazing, perfect. I love that for me.
So I'm going to set the difficulty at 7.
Okay. I might just fail. We'll find out.
That's 21. So unless you spend.
Yeah.
Are you tier 2 now with your spends? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good to know. At least it is within the range of possibility for you then.
Yeah. I just hit tier 2, so that's why I have no XP. Let's see.
Okay.
None of that helps.
Just so the audience knows, who else here is tier 2 now? Who done leveled up? All right,
Oh,
cool.
oops.
It's okay. I did it at the beginning of the game.
You might be relieved to hear this, Noir, but in Cypher System, jumping tiers is actually not as important as you think it is.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. You can actually do quite a. You'd be amazed at what you can accomplish as a tier 1 with just a couple of story points.
I just couldn't. I was maxed out on XP. I couldn't get any more XP,
Yeah.
so I had to start
Yeah.
spending it.
That's fair.
Investigation. I have a scientific investigation.
No,
Is my skill.
no.
So
This is totally to see if you catch a sight of something.
Let's make it possible, and we'll see. I'll dunk an intellect. Yeah, let's drop it 2. Just make it feasible.
Okay.
So that's with an edge of 2. That's 3 points to drop it 2 levels.
So it's 3 points to drop at the first level and 2 points to drop at the second, and that's not subtracting your edge.
Yeah, and with an edge of 2, that's 3 total.
Then
right?
yes, that's correct, because edge will only subtract from the first.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So that puts me at 15 or better.
Mhm.
Right. Okay.
Until you level your edge up, in which case you can just keep going with it. But
Yeah. 17.
17. All right.
17.
Amazing. You hit formidable. You hit a difficulty. You needed a 21. You dropped it down to 5. Is that correct? Because you're tier 2. So you got it down to, and you rolled a 17. Joe, as the doors are closing, Cynthia is standing in front of Cynthia.
Cynthia's in the game.
You see the woman that Cynthia is talking to. Cynthia is standing in front of a version of herself. And the door closes.
And I think Zach walks up.
Zach walks up at about the point where you see, Joe is just kind of staring at the door that just closed in front of her.
You see her oh, and then freeze as the doors close, and then is just kind of standing there, nose to the door, kind of a few inches away.
We don't have any way to open that door, do we?
Well, I got it open the first time. There's 2 of her.
There's 2 of who?
Dahlia. And I look over at him.
I can barely withstand the one. Please, please tell me that this is some sort of misunderstanding.
No, well, I mean, just we don't have any understanding, I would say, at all of this current situation. But I mean, not that I don't believe her when she says things, because she sees them and therefore they're real to her at the very least, and that has merit to me as she is my friend. But I've not ever seen any of the Dahlia things until today, actually. Now, 2 or 3 times, which is quite a lot for me. But there were 2 of her. And now thinking back on it, I think she shut the door. I'll work on it. And Joe's gonna go down and start seeing if she can open the door.
I'm just gonna pull out my little controller and just take a look at what my little friend is seeing.
Your little friend is seeing with perfect night vision an overview of the area that you are in right now. Basically, is just circling around. You see the exterior of SATI site 000E. You also see what looks like you do see movement down below. There is something moving around down there.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't know if it were a T-Rex, but I should go to investigate. Joe.
Yes.
There's movement below. I'm just gonna kind of show the screen.
Ooh, I think she's immediately.
Joe, it's a piece of SATI tech. That much you can
Yeah.
tell, and it looks like it's fully operational. It is a rare piece of tech.
Whoa.
You don't know what it is, but it's got an aerial view, a perfect aerial view of outside. This is even better than.
Do you have this connected to Suites? How did you do that?
No, and don't touch it.
My bad.
It's liquid metal that shaped itself into a pterosaur.
Oh,
Consider-
like an old surveillance drone.
I've
That's very
named
cool.
it. I've named it Paka.
That's very sweet. Lots of people like to name their vehicles and pieces of technology. I've not. I think I'm not very good at deciding things, but it's a good name.
Right. Well, Paka's picked up some movement, so I'm going to go investigate. If I don't return within the next 20 minutes, you force that door open, and I don't care if you have to wrangle Dahlia. You start to make your way back.
I would say make a quick perception check.
Okie dokie.
And
Which
this
one?
this
Ooh.
is gonna be pretty easy. I would say this is a 2. But I gotta leave
Oh.
I gotta leave room for failure here because it's entirely possible.
Okay. How's a 7 do you?
7, just like Caitlin, beats the difficulty by 1. So yes, because a 2 is a 6, so you needed a 6 or better. So you
That's right.
Yeah, the movement you see down below, you're just as you are starting to make assumptions that it could be a thing. Since you are using this incredibly advanced surveillance tech, you do have eyes on what's moving around down there. So the next piece of information that comes to you, I would say, Zach, you're able to immediately add 2 and 2 together to know what it is you're seeing, because an exceptionally large trike emerges from the tree line. And it takes you a moment to notice that it's Atticus, and the smaller one looks like a very agitated and confused Bruno, who has made his way back after running for his life and is now looking around for Dahlia. And Atticus has just come wandering up. So the 2 dinos are kind of outside.
He takes a deep breath, puts the weapons away, and goes, it's Atticus and the others. I'm going to welcome them in and let them know the situation. If you are able to wrangle Dahlia by chance, though, that still would be nice.
Working on it. Like I said, got her open once before. This feels pointed, and she's gonna go back and start trying work on it again.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, the door is secured. It is locked.
Can I make it not that?
I
know I left myself out here on purpose, but now Joe wants
certainly
it.
try. It is a formidable task yet again. It is a difficulty 7.
Okay, so
some kind of security mechanism has been activated on the door, and it is keeping it sealed.
okay. So since I've like reconnected it now, can I use computer systems?
Yes. Now you are talking about getting into the software of it. So yes,
Yeah,
now you can use computer systems.
Okay, sorry. What's my number again?
It's difficulty 7, so you're starting at
you're
starting at a target number of 21.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
7 down to 5 with my computer systems
So
is 2.
drops it down to 15.
I've studied it. Can I use my quick study again? The ability, because if you spend time looking at a thing, you understand it. It eases the difficulty.
I think that narratively makes sense. You just got done digging through its guts, so
yeah. And then my tech kit.
Mm-hmm. Tech kit's always going to come in handy here.
And I can only use one.
Well, actually, does it though? Because the tech kit is mostly used for repairs and hardware stuff.
Let me see.
It's not exactly like a data pad that you can hack into.
Asset on tech tasks.
This counts. It's vague enough. I think the truth is using any kind of computer software or hardware, you're trying to break into it. That would be a tech task for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You
can use 2 assets. You can use skill up to specialization. So
okay, I've got that already then. And then I will
spend
1.
Okay. So what's that drop it down to?
2. So 6 or better.
Yeah, 6 or better from a 21. Yeah. Nicely done. This is what Joe does.
I love anyone who's seen me play Cypher before. I live in the Sam school of I love to be really good at the thing that I'm
Yeah.
really good at.
I mean, the seductive thing about Cypher System is it gives you the option of succeeding often, but you gotta be willing to pay for it. Oh, what'd you roll?
1, baby.
DM
Let's go.
intrusion.
Let's go. Yeah.
The hallway turns red.
Yeah.
As all of a sudden, the entire base goes into lockdown. You see some of the doors go start sliding closed, and you all hear this muffled, static, deadened computer voice speaking through broken speakers and sound systems throughout the entirety of the facility. But it's been shattered by the passage of time, and all you're hearing is
Joe just like slowly and guiltily looks over her shoulder at Zach.
What did you do?
at the end of the hallway. As soon as you ask that question, the two of you hear the sounds of wall panels folding open and the whirring and buzzing sounds of some kind of machinery emerging from the walls.
Immediately jump in front of Joe with shield out.
You immediately jump in front of Joe with the shield out, and you see what undoubtedly looks like robotic humanoid objects emerging from the walls with weapons, and they, like drones, begin to turn and move into the direction of the two of you.
How close are we to the entrance where you have to climb up?
That is on the other side of these drones, about maybe, I would say, close to 100 feet down the corridor.
We're at the end of the hallway. Yeah, we're at the dead end.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to charge.
Okay. So with that, Zach, you raise up your solar chainsaw and charge into battle, and you watch this happening, Joe. On the other side of the door, there is a small smile that comes over the face of the older Dahlia as she looks up at you after the door closes, and she goes, "There. Now we can talk in private."
Okay, like, are we sure this is going to be a safe situation? That I just shut
No.
out my friends?
No. Well, it's not. I don't know that it's going to be safe for them. I guess it depends on what they do. And then a few moments later, the lights go red, and she goes, "Yeah, no, it's not going to be safe for them."
What? I like start trying to hit like buttons to try to like open things up.
She just watches you, and she goes, "Yeah, they activated the alarm systems."
Can I deactivate them from here?
She says, "Probably, but I don't know how."
You're not useful.
She shrugs and says, "Do you have the device on you?"
What device?
The little device that you've been seeing that connects to time anomalies and does weird things.
You have such a one-tracked mind. Oh my
She
gosh.
nods. I do.
No, I don't. No, I don't have that on me. Why would I? They don't trust me with the tech.
Don't they
You
trust
should
you
know
with the
that.
tech?
I don't know. Ask yourself.
Where is it if you don't have it?
Oh, with somebody else?
Who?
Ozzy?
Dahlia, she seizes you by the throat. Her hand launches out and grabs hold of your neck, and you are lifted clear of the ground.
Okay, tap. Okay, how are you this strong?
She looks you in the eyes and says, "Why did I even build you? What good are you to me?
Excuse me?
All for nothing. What a waste of time."
I am not a waste of time.
You won't be. I'm going to try to salvage this situation. We are going to watch. And she forcibly pushes you down in the chair, grabs you by your hair, and pulls your head and activates a monitor where you see Zach and Joe outside the doors defending themselves against an onslaught of what looks like drones that are armed to the teeth. She goes, "We're going to watch them die. And once
What?
they're
No.
dead, you're going to tell me where the device is. And then I'm going to scrap you the way I should have the moment I made you.
I am definitely going to do something about this. This is not cool to be referred to as such.
Okay.
I have a gun on me.
Oh, that's right. You do. Yes.
I have practice with light weapon, and also, can you remind me again what my cipher does?
I'm not oh, your cipher, if I remember correctly, your cipher allows you to cloak things, make things invisible if you touch them.
Okay. Good to know.
Yep. Yeah, her strength is formidable as she holds you in place, roughly, forcing you to watch the monitor.
Okay, I basically kind of like in a like murmured voice, you're not like me. You're terrible. Turn around and grab the gun, and I'm going to try to shoot at it.
You are at point blank range, and she does not know you have that gun. It's easy enough to press it right up against her and pull the trigger. So I'm going to set the difficulty of this. This is a very unique role because of the situation you are in. I'm going to set the difficulty of this role at, I'm going to set it at a 1. You just need a 3 or better. You've got her dead to rights. She's just standing over you. You rolled a 5. Y'all like to just get it in under the skin of your teeth, no matter what the roll is. You just seem to love to do that.
We here for the drama.
All right. 1 second. All right. Okay, so you pull the trigger. It is a small handgun, so it does 2 points damage, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a popping sound as you fire at point blank range up against her sternum, and it's enough to knock her away from you. So she releases your head as she stumbles back and glances down at her chest. You see her form ripples. It just goes like her skin, her face, her features, it all just kind of ripples across her body for a second as she looks down. How did you do that?
Magic, bitch.
While this is all happening, outside, you come strolling up, Ozzy, reaching SATI site 000E. There's a couple of things that you need to be aware of as you come striding up. First, you see Atticus and Bruno are outside. Atticus looks completely disinterested in you. Doesn't seem to give a damn that you're here, and is kind of sniffing at what looks like a very large piece of foliage before taste testing it. Bruno, on the other hand, looks agitated and is looking at you for answers, like somehow you're supposed to know something, but you have no idea what. You do see a few other things that would be in place, would be the vine or perhaps rope that is hanging out of the facility itself. And if you make a perception check, I'll give you some more information as to give you kind of an idea of what the hell is going on out here.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty. Because you got a 19 earlier, so I'm going to set the difficulty of this at 3.
Oh, thank you.
So difficulty, you need a 9 or better.
For a moment, all I could see was the 0, and I was like, I'm pretty sure dice don't roll that, but it's because it's got little cracklies in it to be all Cretaceous flavored, and then it was a 1. So a 1 and a 0. So a 10, which is more than 9. But continuing the trend.
You can see the T-Rex footprints outside. They do not look old at all. But there's no way that thing moves through here without leaving some trace of it. But you see the T-Rex footprints. Those are definitely out here. And then you see a reddish light glowing on the inside of the facility suddenly, and start hearing strange muffled noises. As you come striding up, the raptor that's been following you keeps sudden distance as Atticus is there. Atticus just looks up, kind of disinterested at the raptor, and the raptor kind of stays the proximity. But while this is happening, Orega strides up and looks at the facility and goes, "What the hell?" As he's looking inside. Tara looks over at him and says, "Do you know what the hell that is? What's going on?" And he goes, "Someone Someone's activated the security in the bunker.
What kind of security's in the bunker?
I don't know. I've been smart enough to avoid activating it.
What could something like that do?
I have no idea.
Would you know how to stop it if we
My
got
guess
it
is
in there?
break it. If your friends are inside, maybe they've already done it.
Joe could if anyone.
What do you want to do?
What do I want to do?
Yeah.
I want to have a nice strawberry lemonade at Kaleno, but none of that's going to happen right now, so I guess I'm about to go fail a climb check of some kind.
Okay.
I would like, if possible, as I pass my way to the vine, to give Atticus the traditional Atticus.
Okay.
Thank you.
Atticus is very like in pure in the finest Atticus fashion. The trike is completely disinterested.
Yep.
And the moment you show him any kind of attention, the only acknowledgement you get is a hot blast of air coming out of his nostrils, just like, you know, a horse that kind of is like, yeah, I see you. Just nostril jet stream. And he goes back to chewing on this plant.
I'm gonna go check on her, okay?
All right, make me a roll. The difficulty you're gonna need a 4, so difficulty 4 check. You're gonna need a 12 or better to get up this.
Is the vine an asset?
I believe I did count it as an asset. I'm suddenly remembering that it's a bit high, so I'm gonna say yes. So why don't we just go ahead and say that the difficulty, we'll drop it to 3, make it 9 or better.
If I ask Tara for a boost.
I mean, it's an 80-foot climb, so she can certainly get you started.
That's 5 feet. I won't have to climb myself.
I'm not going to count that as an asset, though.
Acceptable, but do I get a non-mechanical, like, whoop from Tara?
Sure, yeah. She'll hoist you up.
Thank you.
Get you onto the rope. Okay. Sure, yeah.
I just want that for myself.
That's fair. Yeah. Gives you a little bit of
confidence
boost. That's a hard no.
But not a boost. I
cool.
slide right back down.
Well, no, it's not. You're not going to necessarily fail the climb, but it's going to take you a hot minute to get up there now because you're not going to get. You're trying to get up there as this alarm is going off, and things have become complicated. So.
I probably, if I slip, because humid,
right,
moving, scared. I'm gonna just rub my hands on the ground for a chalk effect a little bit. Try to get grippier, and then I'll give it another try. I'll proceed doing
innovative. I'll let you use that as an asset.
Oh, thank you.
That's 100% going to help you keep your grip on that rope. Okay. So I'll let you roll here again in a second. Technically, since you're trying again and you're trying to use the exact same stat to get up, the difficulty should technically go up by 1. So then the using the asset would mitigate that, but now it's going to be a little harder to get up there if you're trying to get up there in the right time frame. Because this is one of those things where it's a roll, it is a success with cost. So if you manage to, a failure, success at cost. So you are still going to be able to get up there. It's just, are you going to get up there in time?
Do you have like a try something new?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's learning new things.
Oh, okay.
And there's absolutely no way that Ozzy has never tried climbing because Joe likes climbing.
Fair enough.
And so Ozzy absolutely has participated in Joe's hobbies.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Can Joe be an asset from afar from past climbing?
You are an emotional, non-mechanical asset who enables me to make this check and further who motivates me there too. I would put might into this, y'all, but I have like a sneeze and a half in that pool, and I might need those for hit points. Who knows?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell what it was, and for a moment it looked like a 5 again, but it's a 14. These are ambiguous dice in retrospect, but I got there.
Toy with your emotions tonight.
They do.
Okay, So you manage to start pulling yourself up the rope. Tara joins quickly behind you, as does Orega, as they're trying to pull themselves up. Orega, you can hear him muttering something, but you can't understand what's happening. Inside the facility, though, these machines are moving towards both Joe and Zach with the intent to kill. And on the other side of that door is this copy of Dahlia that apparently wants her dead. And we are going to pause there for our 10-minute break. And when we come back, we've got a 3-sectioned action round that's going to be coming
my
up.
favorite.
Yeah. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to jump right back in where we left off, which was at a pretty critical moment since it looks like the party is once again divided in multiple ways and are trying to essentially fight for their lives. We're going to start with, we're going to sort of just back it from the entryway of what's going on to the front. So right now we have scaling the side of the wall, scaling this rock wall to try to get back into the bunker is Ozzy, currently pulling yourself up the rope. Behind you is Tara, who is also eager to get up this thing, and the three of you are climbing. Where I'm going to put that in what is probably going to be an initiative roll here in a second is I'm going to say that by the time this first round comes to an end, you guys will be reaching the top. It's kind of a quick climb for y'all, especially because I think you were about to roll again, weren't you? We actually had you get. Did you? Oh no, you already did roll, and you actually
the 14.
Yeah,
the
that's right.
ambiguous
You got the 14. You got it. So then, yeah, you're gonna reach. We'll say with the 14 and actually succeeding at the retry, you're gonna get there at the top of the second round. You're gonna be able to pull yourself up and over. With that, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna start in the corridor, and then from the corridor we'll move into what's going on inside with the Cynthias, the Dahlias that are currently in the process of having some girl time, apparently, as they're trying to shoot each other, kill each other, strangle each other. Yeah, good stuff. So let's go ahead and let me just pull this up here and get us ready to go. Very eager to see you in action here, Zach, as we're actually finally getting. Let's see. There we go.
Watch, I wrote nothing but woods after talking.
Yeah. Then I went and said that. So of course. Okay, here we go. All right, Zach, emerging from the walls, you see what look like some pretty obvious synthetic android robotic security systems. You've never seen anything like this before in your life. Growing up in Silvercreek, you've seen SATI tech before, but you've never seen anything holding weapons like this. And the rifles they're holding, that's really what draws your attention, because each rifle looks like it's an advanced SATI sort of plasma rifle of some kind. The way it lights up, way more advanced than anything you've ever gone up against. There are 4 of them total, and they are advancing on you.
Joe, tell me where to hit.
I didn't take that ability. I almost did and I didn't. These are old, so this is too fast for Joe to think. And so I think she can't even think like through anything past. Oh, danger! Oh, we're in danger! Oh, we're in danger! And she goes, central processing units are usually in the core of the human body, so like the heart maybe area. I don't know. And like is trying to like back up and is like pulling out, trying to like put her toolkit into an area. So she's just going to tell you to hit dead center.
It's initiative rolls. Initiative rolls all around for everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. The difficulty of this roll is drum roll. Oh, that's easy. Okay, so it's it's 9. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, difficulty is 4, so you need a 12 or better.
Oh, cheapers. Okay.
I have to remember what danger this does again. Give me just a second.
Yeah, one of you have some stuff for while you look at that. Question for Eric.
Mm-hmm.
With my empirical inability, whenever I get a GM or just any type of intrusion, any action you take in response is 1 step more difficult. Would you say this is in response to my intrusion?
Oh, is the yes?
Or,
it absolutely
or would
is.
it be? Or is it going to be? Does it have to be related to tech stuff?
No, this is the result of a GM intrusion.
Cool. Perfect.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So difficulty bigger for me.
Yeah. So difficulty, what is it? 5 for
5,
you. So 15 or better.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I take an ox point? Actually,
Yeah.
no. I like my ability. No, I'm keeping. I'll use an ox point on something that's
No, I'm
actually
gonna
going
go
to be
for this.
useful.
Okay.
No,
Cool.
but yeah. I'm
Very
rolling
good.
15.
All right, I'm gonna roll. I haven't found it yet because the books, they're different.
Yep.
So
I encourage
gonna
everyone to
roll.
use the most recent Cipher System book because it's going to be the one with the most.
I rolled a nat 20.
Okay, so you're going to be going first.
I rolled a 17.
I rolled a 19.
Okay.
Look at this team go.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you roll, Noir?
17.
Okay. So these things look like synthetic life forms of some kind. They have the glossy white casing on the outside that looks quite flexible, almost like it's hardened battle plastic of some kind. They don't have any details or features, but their faces look vaguely humanoid. And underneath the surface of this white plastic-like skin on the exterior, you can see underneath it a glowing blue light where the eyes would be. Very much like a sort of like a charging light underneath the skin of a phone or some such. They're walking, these rifles that they're holding, they present in a very uniformed fashion as they raise them up. And just like the computer systems overhead that are speaking in this sort of garbled tone, they're speaking to you as they open fire. You get to go first, though. You all get initiative on your respective combat rounds. What would you like to do? Because you all got initiative, you guys get to decide who goes first and who wants to go first and what you do.
How many are there, first of all?
There are 4 total.
Holy moly. Okay.
Yep.
Oh boy. Okay. Y'all want me to go first? I guess.
I know what I'm going to do. It's not going to help your situation at all, though. So.
We might as well go first, then.
I think so. Joe has like her own little like tech pad, and she's like kind of like scrambling it out, and she kind of starts pressing buttons to open, and like takes 1 second to pull in, and this like thin kind of like light kind of lines appear over her, kind of grid style, brighten and then solidify and dim, and only when she moves you can kind of see a shimmer. I'm gonna use resonance field. I can faint lines in a color you choose form a tracery over your entire body and emit faint light. The effects last 1 minute whenever a creature within immediate range. Oh, it's immediate range. Boo. Okay, hold on. Never mind. Zach, do what you're gonna do. I'll go after you. These guys are ranged. I didn't read all the way through.
Just for future reference, I found out what Dangerous does. It's a 1 speed point spend. Your initiative test is eased, and you pay the cost each time this ability is used. But I have 1 speed edge, so I pay nothing.
You got it. Yeah.
All right, but I am. I am going to. I'm just gonna go ahead and attack. I'm going to use one of my new skills, which is called Shut It Down. I have to spend 2 might. And what this does is if you've been made aware of a non-biological element in a creature, you can pinpoint that place directly with your attack and attempt to disable it for 1 round. Shutting it down could have various effects depending on the purpose of the non-biological. For example, if it's a weapon, you disable it for 1 round. If it's a vital organ, you stun the creature for 1 round, so on and so forth. The GM will decide what the part does and what the effect of shutting it down does.
Okay.
All right. And I'm going to attack with the old chainsaw.
Okay.
Okay, nat 20.
Oh.
Well then. Okay, so
I love this die.
wow. Okay, so paint this picture for me. You're using this ability called Shut It Down.
He charges and he's yelling, "Joe, where do I hit? Where do I hit?" Joe goes, "The center." That goes, okay. It just digs the chainsaw in and kind of just is ripping and tearing.
Okay, so
yeah,
with a nat 20, for an attack, you have some options here, Zach.
Okey-dokey.
You can create a major effect, which is anything from disarm, impair, knockdown, and stun, or you can choose to do +4 damage to whatever attack you're about to initiate against this thing.
Those are some really good choices.
Yeah. You've got those options.
Oh,
It is essentially a critical hit, so you get to decide.
Well, it's already going to be stunned because of shut it down.
It's
So
true.
I'm gonna take the extra damage. So with the solar chainsaw, it's 6 points of damage
+4.
+4.
It's 11 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, no, that's 10 points.
10 points?
6 plus 4?
and 4. Yeah, 10.
Yeah, 10 points.
Okay.
So okay. So sparks fly as technology is ground and ripped as you shove this solar chainsaw into the chest of this machine that is just marching towards you. It looks like it's about to raise its rifle to try to point blank you, but as soon as it gets its gun even like marginally up to its shoulder to make the shot, this glowing blade slams into its chest and causes the entire machine to seize up. Its eyes look directly into yours with absolutely complete and total focus, almost like it's detached from what's happening to its body. However, it is stunned and heavily damaged. You also feel some resistance as you smash into this thing. It does have an armor rating. So it actually took 3 points less than what you dealt out to
I
it.
thought you
as
were
it
saying it
soaks
only
up.
took 3. I was about to get
Oh,
so
no.
scared.
No, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, no, that would be an outrageously high armor rating in a Cypher
God.
system game. But no, basically reduces the damage by 3. But this thing kind of trembles and shakes as you've impaled it. Does not go down, however. As you smash it through its chest, doing that enormous amount of damage, it is still standing.
Okay.
I think after
is-
that attack, he's just gonna yell, "Dahlia, it's time to go!"
I think Joe does have that moment of that I just had, which is, oh shit, this doesn't work for what I thought I was gonna do, and like goes and is gonna, the way that she did in the swamp, like scan for tech, basically grab onto the closest one to Zach, and I'm gonna scramble machine.
Oh,
You render one machine within short range unable to function for 1 round. Alternatively, you can hinder any action by the machine or someone attempting to use the machine for 1 minute.
okay.
I want it to be unable to function for 1 round.
Yeah, I think that would count. So, okay, so you need to, does it say you need to land a hit, or is it something you can just do?
It says 1 intellect point, action to initiate. Or wait, 2
Yeah.
intellect point, action to initiate.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
the whole, what I read is the whole description.
So yeah, no, that's true then. Then you can basically, yes, you just do it then. Okay, so you spend that point and it basically causes, now if I remember, so it stuns the machine? Just
Yeah,
outright?
1 machine unable to function for 1 round,
Okay.
or I can hinder any action by the machine or someone attempting to use it for a full minute, but I'm gonna do unable to move for 1 minute.
Okay, so 2 of them are stunned now.
Yeah.
So basically you guys have crowd controlled 2 of them immediately right out of the gate as you smash into these. Sparks begin to fly a little bit. The one you've managed to short circuit though, Joe, you can tell it's already starting to compensate and run a
She's
internal
fighting
diagnostic.
it.
Yeah, it's already starting to try to compensate for that. The 2 behind it are not reacting at all. They look like they are still dead set on killing.
Cool,
So that's going to be y'all's round.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, Dahlia, she is standing in front of you, looking down at her chest. You see her form is wavy, and you see like this sort of glowing grid play across her chest for a moment as it reconstitutes. And she glances down at her stomach and looks back up at you and asks, "How did you do that?" And you, of course, swear at her. You have initiative. What would you like to do?
Is there any like small object anywhere near me?
Plenty of like metal objects that are just laying about.
I'm gonna grab a small object and I'm gonna yell at her and be like, "Do you see this in my hand? It's a bomb that I could set up at any moment."
Okay. So I'm going to have you roll to try to convince her that you've got a bomb. You were rolling against her difficulty. which, if you haven't caught on yet, is 7.
Mm-hmm. Let's lower that a little bit. I have slick.
And she is basically, for all intents and purposes, she seems to be you. So I'm going to give this an increased difficulty, and I'm bringing it up to 8.
Okay.
So right now, you've got the highest level I've thrown at the party so far. You need a 24 or better.
Can
So
I
you've got to
bring it
find
down?
you've got to find ways to bring that down from heroic. This is a heroic level roll for a
Okay.
Cypher System game.
Okay. So
You're
a
tier
couple
2
of
now, right? So you can
Yes.
conceivably pull this off.
I can. I have a couple of different things that I'm trying to aim here. So first off, I have slick. So
Okay.
I'm trained in all tasks dealing with persuasion, bluffing, misdirection, deception.
Right.
I have sleight of hand as well, so it's a physical action as well. So you're trained in all tasks dealing with all the stuff that I just said.
Right.
And the ability that I was going to activate if this works was Ledgerman's. So I'm gonna actually like make her feel like she actually has this in her hand ish, if that works with this grid thing.
I think I understand what you mean. So you're trying to what is the ability? I'm sorry, what is the ability again?
So Ledgerman's, I can perform small
Right.
but seemingly impossible tricks.
Okay.
For example, I can make a small object in my hand disappear and move into a desired spot within reach, like a
Okay.
pocket. You can make someone believe that they have something in their possession that they do not have, or vice versa. You can
Oh,
switch
that is
similar objects right in front of someone's eyes.
that is this is another instance where I'm like, this reminds me of how broken social combat is in Baldur's Gate 3, where if you just get really clever and hit a roll, you can do some pretty remarkable things. Okay, so you were about to try to convince a level 7 version of you that you brought a bomb with you and that it's been here the whole time. You're going to set it off.
Mhm.
All right. So, does that happen automatically? Does it let you just spend and get the ability? Is that what it says? How does
One
that work?
speed point.
What is it?
1 speed point.
1 speed point, and you can just instantly convince somebody you've got a bomb for 1 round? Okay. So the way I'm going to work that into the narrative is that with so much conviction in your voice, with so much certainty of what it is you're holding and the desperation and whatnot, it's going to delay her for a turn. So this turn, she's hesitating, maybe because she believes that she is just wild enough that she herself might do what you were doing. But whatever it is, you see the smugness, the certainty that she can absolutely destroy you. It wavers in front of you. You know your face better than anybody. And you know that blank stare of uncertainty that she is giving you right now as her eyes dart to the thing you're holding in your hand. That's not completely clear. She doesn't say anything. She freezes, though, and she stops. And just like the bots outside that are trying to kill everybody in the hallway for 1 round, she's not going to do anything. She just stares at it for a second and looks like she's trying to make up her mind of what she wants to do about this.
Excellent.
All right. So you've basically bought yourself a turn.
I did. Can I use that turn to try to while I'm misdirecting? Which, by the way, I do have another thing that I can use while doing that. Where'd it go?
So typically you only get an action a turn.
Okay.
So, but what else did you have in mind?
I just wanted to start feeling around for behind me, for the buttons to open the door.
That's okay. That is okay. So there's actually examples
Luck
of this.
roll.
There's actually examples of this in Cypher System. It's very similar to when you're in this high-speed chase and you're trying to get your weapon out of your backpack in the passenger seat. You're basically doing 2 things at the same time. So it is going to be a roll, but it's going to be at an increased difficulty because you are doing something simultaneously as you are doing this off. So I'm going to set the difficulty of this at a 5 as you were just kind of behind you scrambling to press buttons and open a door.
Okay.
So the difficulty is 5. And
Can
I'm going to say there's no intellecting into this. This is a speed check. This is literally just trying to fumble around and find a button to press that's behind you and hope to the gods it's the door the button that opens the door.
Can I use an aux point?
Oh yeah, if you want to use an aux point. That's what
yeah.
right there. I'm sure chat is screaming, use an aux point. All right, this one is from Matt Smith, aka Guru Matt. Thank you, Guru Matt. So that's going to drop it from 5 down to 4. You need a 12 or better.
Okay. All right. I have faith.
The heart, out of curiosity.
Oh my god.
What
I got
happened?
a 13.
Well, I'm not gonna. At least it's not a GM intrusion, and I don't have to. Han Solo you, where a second set of doors closes behind you or something. You are fumbling around behind. You start just tapping and pressing buttons. You hear "Good morning, Doctor," like the computer static, like buzzing around you as the automated system is responding, but it's warped and broken. Nothing is opening the door as you're just like tapping it behind you, just like smashing against the buttons. That is going to bring us to the end of the round, which is Ozzy. Ozzy trying to mitigate how much you're hurting your tummy, pulling yourself over the lip of this metal opening that is essentially the track for the observatory that opens and closes.
I have abs and I don't like it.
Yeah, Ozzy, as you pull yourself over the lip, you manage to catch yourself because it's a 30-foot drop on the other side, and you just kind of like immediately feel that sort of like tense up as you grip the side and keep yourself from going over. You see Clover, though. Clover, who's standing there shocked, and Clover, who's picking up her weapon, she looks at you and she goes, "Oh my God!" when she sees you. I don't know what's going on.
Ah!
What are you doing here?
I brought a time traveler.
Okay. And
He's still climbing though.
with that, I think trying to gauge what I think Eliza would do, knowing Eliza Pearl, she would go into ass-kicking mode and would probably charge into the hallway with her weapons. So she goes, "The others are in here!" And then without a second thought, she starts running through the door.
Hey, it's okay. They're inside.
Tara goes, "Let's go, let's go, let's go!"
Yep.
All right.
Moving on in.
Make me a strength check. Because stepping over and trying to lower yourself a 30-foot drop is no small feat. So strength check here is going to be, considering that it's not going to be as difficult as the climb up here was, I'm going to set the difficulty here at 3, because there is rope on the other side that you're going down as well. It's how everybody got in.
Well, Eric, you say it's no small feat, but may I counter? I have small feet.
You do. You are small. It is true.
So surely it's easier.
It is true.
I'm gonna roll the dice
if I remember
now.
correctly, I could put my hand on your heel.
That is, yeah.
My fingers are still.
I'm not a person expert. Yep. So, is the rope an asset on the way down?
Yes, I'll count the rope as an asset on the way down. So then I will set the.
What about my chalk?
All right. You're not going full Bonnie Gordon, but I will say yes.
Can I use acrobatics?
Actually here, it's entirely
cool, 'cause I don't have
it. Right. Don't. Yes, you can use the chalk as an asset.
Okay.
I'll let that
Thank
happen.
you.
Yeah.
That was a 10 on the dice, which is more than 3.
It is more than 3. Okay, so then you are going to manage to lower yourself down. I don't have to roll for the NPCs because their levels, they auto succeed as they're on their way down. But you spend the end of your round basically crawling to the end of the other side. By the way, and at this point, you can hear the combat in the corridor at this point. So that's going to bring it into your round. That means it is going to be their turn finally. And we are now in ouch mode because the two drones that are behind the two that have been stunned are still fully combat capable. And I'm going to initiate melee combat. One of them is going to step up and attempt to grab hold of your arm that is currently holding this chainsaw as you've impaled its the one that's in front of it. It lunges forward and grabs at you. This is a defense check, so you're going to have to roll against its target number. You need a difficulty is 4. You need a 12 or better as this thing lunges at you. But you have speed defense, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that's going to drop by 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you get for listening to Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
So now you need a 9 or better. Otherwise, this thing is going to grab hold of you.
Ooh, all right, let's do it. Let's get it. All right, that is a 12.
A 12. Okay. This thing lunges for you, but you see it coming. I mean, it's pretty clunky as it's trying to force its way past the two that are in the front. So you take a step back just as this grip nearly grabs at your wrist and tries to yank your hand free of this chainsaw that you're using. The second one takes one sliding step backward and aims the rifle and opens fire on Joe. Joe, it's the same thing. The target number 4 as this thing is shooting at you. Difficulty is 4, so you need a 12 or better.
I would like to take an ox group point.
All right.
Please.
Burning through those ox points. This one is from Breeks. Thank you so much, Breeks, for saving our group here.
Woohoo.
So that's going to, an ox point is going to automatically lower it down to 3. So you need a 9 or better.
I don't think I have anything else, and I don't have a lot of speed. Well, okay, now I'm going to spend 1. I'm going to drop 1 from speed.
You're going to drop 1 from speed?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's 2, 6, right?
That sounds right. So
2,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Uh-oh. Yeah, what is that laugh? What does it mean? What does it mean?
That's a 5.
Okay. You are being
We've been pushing it.
Yeah, you can't win them all.
You're riding the line too much.
All right. So with that, you are going to take, do you have any armor on?
No.
Okay, you are taking 4 points of damage then to your might.
Sick.
4 points as this full spread of molten plasma fire opens up from the barrel of this rifle that it has. What's haunting about it is how quiet it fires. It's literally just that's about the volume level as it pops open. It's the hissing, spatin sounds of this plasma smashing into the wall behind you and lighting it up, causing this steel behind you that the door turn molten red. The burning sensation on your shoulder as it hits you is gone in a flash. It feels, your body is tricked. It feels cold.
Oh no.
But you can smell that you did not get coldified here. You got burnedified. There is that the pain is very quick, but you can tell you've been injured.
Okay, so I only had 4 might points.
Okay. Then you are hailed. So what that means is with only 4 might points, you are going to drop down. So you're going to drop down into you are now impaired.
Impaired, yeah.
So what impaired does is effort now costs you an additional point if you're going to spend any effort. Also, 17 rolls of 17 or higher, they only ever do +1 point, and you can do no minor or major effect.
Cool.
So you are weakened.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Which impaired means that you really took the hit, and you would see that, Zach. Joe just got grazed pretty good.
Hits the wall and is on her butt, on the floor.
That's going to be there around in the other side of the room behind the door. The Dahlia that is looking at the bomb, she glances at you and goes, "You're different. You're not like me. Curious. That's not how you were made."
Real curious about being made. She's holding the bomb in her hand.
Yeah. She's looking at you very curiously right now. That's her action, though, because she has been held off by the explosive that she thinks you're holding. She doesn't know that she doesn't know that you're holding a jammy Dodger and not an actual explosive. All right. With that, we are at the top of the next round. I'm going to say, just to speed things into this, that at the top of the next round, running into the corridor behind all of the bots, you see just over the shoulder of one of these strange drones, Zach, is one of your companions. There she is, in all of her glory, Clover, just charging into battle. But as you spot Clover, you also spot that Clover has noticed, just as she enters the corridor, 2 more of these drones that have just emerged from the walls behind her, and she whirls to face them. That is also going to allow, what would you like to do here, Ozzy? Because you are now also in the scene. So if you would like to get involved, y'all have the initiative. So you can do it. You can do this however you want to do this. Yeah.
Okay. I want to open my bag.
Oh.
I
Where is this going? Okay, you want to open your bag? Go on.
How does this security system work? A basic question about a recent or current event, experience, or person. Maybe I could see back to when it was set up and figure out how to turn it off.
Ooh. Fascinating. So you're using your Osteon ability right now to try to sort of look back through time and figure out how this happened.
Yeah, the device. So I press the button and then I think about the thing and then I see, well, so far I've mostly just seen a guy with a thing around his neck and he won't tell me what it is. But yeah, no, the security system.
Okay, do you get a roll for that, or is that just something that you do by? It's a spend.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, those are awesome. Y'all are using those to the maximum effect, and that's really helpful here. Okay. So you're trying to. Okay, so you're getting a glimpse of what this place was like when SATI was still using it.
Yep, the vision it provides is not always 100% correct or clear, but usually contains at least one bit of pertinent information.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. You got the GM thinking here. Because that's that is a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
There's a reason everyone wants this device.
What's that?
There's a reason everyone wants this device.
Yeah, there's a reason everyone wants this device. Okay. So for a second, your vision clouds. And it is almost anxiety inducing because everything you're seeing happening, you lose sight of it for a moment. So it's kind of like imagine driving really fast and seeing traffic coming towards you, and then all of a sudden your vision goes dark, but you can still hear that you're driving. Is kind of the sensation you experience right now as all of this is happening around you. But then the air changes and the heat gives way to a nice cool atmosphere. And it doesn't taste like dust anymore. It doesn't feel thick in your lungs. It doesn't want to choke you or make you feel like you need to cough. And the sounds of screaming in combat and the sounds of plasma rifles being fired in an echoing dark corridor just feet away from you, all of that bleeds away. And instead, what you hear is the warm laughter of colleagues telling a bad joke to another one. You hear the sounds of what could be some kind of bird, perhaps, or bird-like. You've heard, like like a small raptor, some kind cooing, a very melodic, very beautiful song. And when your eyes adjust, you find yourself standing right where you were, but in a snapshot of what this place was 100 years ago when it was in full operation. You see SATI employees moving past you, lab coats of all ages. There's a gentleman who is currently sipping a cup of coffee and having a conversation with a coworker who's sitting up on one of the consoles. And the old man is going, "Get off of that. You're going to hit something. You're going to set off the alarm." You glance over and you see a digital readout. And sure enough, as the person's getting up, you see activating the alarm and you hear a crystal clear voice that is now static and difficult to ascertain what it's saying. You hear security system operational. Drill online, activating drones. And the old man goes, sips his coffee and goes, "God damn it, Leo. I told you were going to activate that thing. If that kills somebody, it's on you." And he turns around and he goes, "I don't have enough regen gel to bring someone back from the dead more than once." And goes over and starts tapping into a couple of computer consoles. You see it's the console in the observatory room. it looks like he taps in a few buttons and he's like, "You're lucky I've got my command access code here. We'd all be dead right about now." The gentleman that's getting up goes, "You're being so dramatic. It's fine. We all have DNA clearance. They're not going to activate on us." That particular moment, you see the alarms being powered down. And one other thing catches your attention when you see this. And I'd like you to make me a perception check. And the difficulty is 3.
Okay. I'm going to spend one and bring it down.
Okay.
You have my interest and my attention. And my intellect point.
And
But it was a 17, so, we could have done all right.
Yeah.
Nonetheless. Please proceed.
all right. You are watching this exchange happen. And as it unfolds in front of you, you're starting to fall into that feeling of like, God, this was 100 years ago. This could be right now. These people have no idea. They're probably long gone. It's hard to imagine like what must have happened to them. You allow yourself a moment of reflection as you look around. This is the first time you've seen an ancient SATI site. You glance at all the faces of the scientists. And glancing right back at you is Dahlia. She's staring at you. She's wearing a lab coat. She's holding a data pad. And you see her staring at you like she can see you. You see her brow furrow. You wave and she says, "How?" And you lose the image. And you are back into this chaos of gunfire and combat all around you.
Where's Dahlia? Dahlia can deactivate it. We need her. Shout down the hall.
Okay. You guys hear impossible to believe. It's hard to believe, but maybe to like an answered prayer, you're pretty sure you just heard Ozzy's voice shouting down the hall how to deactivate these things.
You just see Joe like peeking out from, like leaning to the side, and you're behind like the leg. Huh? Like
She locked herself in a room. Run!
Where? I just got down here. But that's a time tap's a full action, so Ozzy's time tapped out.
Okay. In which case, let's see, who wants to go next then? Because it's still y'all's turn. So y'all still get to do something.
I feel like Dahlia should go next just to preemptively see what happens in that room.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So Dahlia, yeah, you're in the room. On her action, she is going to be able to move against you.
Mm-hmm.
So you've bought yourself the round, that last round. You get to go now. So what would you like to do?
I'm actively going to look for the button to open the doors.
Okay. That's going to be a lot easier this time. So go ahead and make me another. I'll allow an intellect check on this one because now you're turning around and kind of trying to do the math real quick. I will warn you though, just as a warning as a GM, to whip around and look for the button. You're turning your back on her. So just it's going to ease the difficulty in finding the way to get the door open. But it's going to affect, like, however this roll goes will affect how your next round ends up.
Well, I'm a risk taker, so let's go.
Okay.
For right now, yes. Not in life, no.
Real quick too. Just real quick. Ozzy, were you using the device when you used that ability just now? Were you using that as an asset? Because you said you reached into your...
Well, yeah, that's how Ozzy uses.
Cool.
Eric, people talk about Ozzy having Ostian abilities. Ozzy thinks that's ridiculous, but the device is very helpful.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. All right. So go ahead and in this case, Dahlia, go ahead and make that roll. The difficulty is reduced now. It's an intellect spin, but it is going to be still difficulty 3. So you need a 12 or better right off the top.
Can I use an ox point again?
That's fair. This one is Rogan 27. Thank you so much for trying to save Dahlia. Let's see if it works.
It's
Oh,
an
no.
11.
Oh no! What is it with y'all on the ratio of 1? Holy crap! You turn your back on her, and what you see is a large panel filled with buttons and weird slots and devices. You are completely shocked at what you're looking at. You don't even know where to start. So you start doing what you were doing before and start like a kid that's playing Street Fighter 2 for the first time in their life. You just start smashing everything you see. If it can be pressed, you're pressing it. You just start smashing down on this thing. That's your action for the round.
Excellent.
So then we are back to Zach. If we are back to Joe, who are in Mortal Kombat right now. You like all the fighting game references I'm throwing at y'all tonight? Yeah. So who would like to go first out of the two of you?
I'd like to go. Zach, following his training and his instinct, is just going to back away and completely cover Joe. Just trying to make sure that there is no space for the attack to get to Joe. So that is him foregoing an attack. And it may be pointless, but he is going to try and whistle for Kimmy.
You know, aim high, right? Swing big. All right. Well, whistling for Kimmy is definitely going to be challenging because, yeah, because she is going to be on the outside. So, okay. So this is how I'm going to swing this. Because I think you should have the opportunity to try it.
Right.
So, the default difficulty of trying to get her to behave and to follow commands is 3. With the distance between the door and where Kimmy is right now, I'm gonna increase the difficulty by 2.
Okay.
So it's gonna be
right.
So it's a 5. I'm gonna set the difficulty at 5 for this.
All right. Now that I am tier 2, I do have a new ability called Close Companion. You spend a lot of time with your companion, more so than most, and you have a tight bond. You have an asset on all interactions with your companion.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely going to come in handy here.
Then I would like to spend an effort because I have one of those.
Okay.
And I would like an ox point, please.
Okay. An ox point it is. Who is this one from? I love that y'all are burning up. Y'all, seriously, I just want to point out what a huge difference the ox points have made. So thank you so much to everybody who is contributing and supporting Stream Punks, because y'all are actually changing the outcomes a little bit here and giving them a shot at this. So that was from Rogan. This one's from Leo Ambermain. So thank you, Leo Ambermain. That's going to reduce the difficulty down. So this is, who's playing Kimmy? Oh, man. Caitlin's like, I want to go. Caitlin got shot, so Caitlin wants to go full dino in somebody's face. Okay, so 15 down by 1. So difficulty is 4. You need a 12 or better before you do anything else. That's just from the ox point.
It should be down to 2. There was an effort, an ox point, and an asset from the new ability. So you should be at.
That sounds right. Yeah.
2. So 6 or better.
So
currently.
6 or better.
I'm very grateful for that because I wrote an 11.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so yes,
Let's
out
go.
and about, she is going to be able to hear you. So that's, oh man, that's wild. Okay, so with an 11 roll, so Kimmy, you hear the sharp whistle. What is the order What is like? Is this like an emergency whistle kind of deal that she
This
knows?
is an emergency whistle. This is someone's been injured. Take them back.
Gotcha.
I know that I can't fly on Kimmy, but I'm hoping she can at least nab Joe and get Joe out. This is in Zach's head. He's already accepted. I'm not making it out of this, but you are getting back to Silvercreek.
Okay, that's bleak. Oh, man.
That's corn, baby.
I can already tell Chloe. I can already tell somebody, Clover rather, is going to be so pissed. Okay.
Yeah, Kimmy hears the SOS whistle and does a little like snap and shriek, and is going to start arcing downward.
Okay. In which case, I'm going to have. Let's see. Does she? Okay, so if I remember correctly, she is large. She is quite large.
Kimmy is, I can tell you exactly, she is 8 feet tall at the top of her head, and her wingspan is 25 feet.
Okay. That should still, okay.
She thick with eight C's and 1 Q, and it's silent. You wouldn't believe where it is.
All right. Okay. So the reason why I'm laughing is I'm picturing this huge pterosaur basically like flying the Death Star trench right now. Because to get into the observatory, it is quite the feat to like squeeze into this large space, folding in that wingspan and jamming yourself inside. But I mean, it's with the ferocity that can only be like if you've ever seen those videos of a dog that knows its family is in danger, it does not care if it's about to rip its own legs off to get to the person that needs it. And Kimmy, you hear the sharp whistle. It echoes and rebounds off the walls from inside. You just know to nosedive and to get inside as quickly as possible. Mm-hmm. Anybody who would be inside that observatory right now would be shrieking in horror as they see a pterosaur slam into that opening and start forcing its way inside. It is big enough for you to squeeze in.
Huge beak snapping.
Yeah. If you were any other creature, there's no way you'd be able to pull this off. You would have to be a small mammal. But dino, like it's no way. But you're a pterosaur, and you managed to sort of nose your way in. One head after you get to the crest, you manage to jam your body in there.
The little tiny little hands at the tips of the bells of the wings, and like
there is a
terrifying, I'm sure.
Yeah, I would say in that particular moment, Ozzy, you whip around because you're seeing this. You see Kimmy in a fury. Like
big snaps.
Yeah, she looks absolutely livid, like full on predator mode right now. The scraping and crashing sounds you hear are echoing all across the observatory, and you see her jam her way through all that 30 foot and catch herself with a quick glide and collapse to the ground. Kimmy, you slam into the ground and just pick yourself right back up.
Yeah.
You see the familiar sight. You see the very familiar sight of Ozzy. You know, not food.
Yeah.
When you see Ozzy.
Ozzy seems chill.
Yeah. But you also see a corridor ahead of you. I'll just go ahead and say right now, you'll be able to fit into this corridor, but it's a tight fit.
Yeah. It's going to be a terrifying like horror scramble through the
Yeah. This is basically the Halloween game for my NPCs right now. This is my NPCs are going through their Halloween special as they see a dinosaur is going to come scrambling into this hallway coming after them. Okay, so you are going to, I'm going to say you use your entire round to essentially get into the corridor itself.
Yeah.
So Zach, you are going to see her make her grand. I mean, everyone, including Dahlia on the other side of the door, can hear her coming.
I at that point I would just like to yell at Clover, cover fire, because I do see Clover firing the gun, right?
Yeah.
I'm begging her to just shoot at these things so they don't shoot Kimmy, please.
Okay. All All right, so Clover is going to basically use her turn to do just that. She is going to open fire. And kind of is laying spray so that it's indirect fire.
Yeah, I just want to keep them from firing at the big thing that entered the room.
Here's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and say that she can do minimal cover fire. Because the problem is that Kimmy is just too big and is taking up so much space in that area that it's just like she's not able to like really adequately give cover fire as much as but yeah.
Every little bit helps.
every little bit helps. Okay, so she is going to I'll say that I'll count that as an asset.
Woo!
Yeah. So that there's a little bit more of a defense to what's going on. Oh my God. It's just total chaos. All right.
Hey, when you have a whole team who is not equipped for any kind of combat, we gotta get crafty.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That is fair.
If only somebody warned us about this.
I know. All right, so that's gonna be the end of that round. So this is gonna be you, Joe.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you see all of this madness taking place. The dino that's trying to smash her way into the corridor.
God, and Joe didn't like that. Joe very afraid of dinos. Hasn't come up quite a bit, but yeah, that's not doing great for Joe right now.
Yeah, and I gotta stress this to you as well. This is a dino that looks like it has absolutely lost its shit. It is in total protector mode. So if you can't imagine a livid pterosaur that is twice the size of the corridor trying to barrel down the corridor towards Dad, that's kind of what's happening.
Yeah, not great. So Joe, I think, doing her best, is going to scramble back up and back. So the thing, she caused this security issue with this panel. I don't think she trusts herself to try to get anywhere else without getting hurt, and she does have a tiny bit of help from being covered by Zach right now, so she's going to get back in there. I would like to attempt to use this panel and to use Scramble Machine on the security protocols. Like, if I can find, like, she already tapped it. Like, she was already there. It theoretically is the last thing that's up. I want to try to Scramble Machine. And at the very least, so Scramble Machine, you can render one machine within short range unable to function for 1 round. Alternatively, you can hinder any action by the machine or someone attempting to use the machine for 1 minute. And I want to attempt to hinder the security of this building. That's what I want to try to do.
Okay.
Of this, at least this corridor, what I just accessed, what I just set off.
Okay.
I want to scramble the security system.
Okay. That's pretty awesome. That's really tough. If you're going to try to gain access to the entire security system, and this is just a spend, right?
This is a spend. So I'm like, I'm doing something weird. So you let me know if you need me to roll, and I will roll. But I'm trying to just use an ability I have to, like, actually, it's got real stats.
Okay.
FX.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say, why don't you go ahead and do the spend? Okay. And then here's what I'll do. I'm gonna do the spend, but I'm gonna do a GM intrusion.
Excellent. Phenomenal.
But I'm gonna treat this a little differently. I'm gonna trade. If you are willing to accept the GM intrusion, I'll give you the XP, but I'll also let this succeed, but it's going to be different. It's going to have all kinds of effects.
Phenomenal. That's great. Is this a thing where I get to give someone else an XP?
Yes. 100%.
Zach is protecting me with his body. I'm gonna give him my other XP to
Okay, cool.
And because I'm getting a GM intrusion, what I try to react with it. Again, I will continue to have a hindered. I will have 1 step more difficult.
No, not this time. Not this time. Yeah, you're good on this time. So you're
no. I mean, I'm saying because I'm getting another intrusion. However, I respond to this intrusion. That's just how this thing works. Is that
You're
if I have a new intrusion, however I react to it, I'm gonna have.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Gotcha. All right. So, all right. So the security systems, immediately as you gain access, you start causing a shortage to happen. As that is happening, it basically, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say the GM intrusion is all of the droids in this room are going to immediately realize you are tampering with the security systems and you've aggroed everyone.
Awesome.
So Zach, you can see their targeting protocols have completely changed. Keep in mind that 2 of them are getting their turns back this round.
Mm-hmm.
So target protocols change and all 4 of them start, including the 2 that are right behind Kimmy at this moment. All of them start locking onto Joe. Joe, you do not shut down the security system as much as you bring the console online right in front of Ozzy, who just used their Ocean ability to find out how to shut down the security. The only problem was
they saw the
Ozzy
code,
did.
right?
Ozzy used their ability to find out how to shut down the security, but the problem was they couldn't because there was no power to the consoles out here, and you just delivered the power to the consoles.
I got you, buddy.
So it comes to life in front of you, Ozzy, and you see a dusty version of that holographic projection that you had seen before in your vision appear, and you remember immediately the sequence that he typed in order to start shutting down the security protocols. That is going to be your whole action. Because it is a GM intrusion that you accepted, what that means is your speed to dodge what's about to come your way is going to increase by 1.
Yeah.
So all 4 of these droids are going to open up on you.
Yeah.
Quick.
What's up?
Quick question.
Yeah.
Zach positioned himself to be in front.
He did use his turn to set up.
That is true.
Because
the droid. So here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to rule.
Okay.
I see what you're trying to do. Here's what I'm going to rule. The droids would not just senselessly fire into you if they couldn't shoot her. So what we'll say is, in a moment of drama, you see all of the droids target her, and Zach, you put yourself between. Since you declared that that's what you're going to do, you put yourself between her and them. They're going to open up. Now, the one that is still impaled on that solar chainsaw is going to be at a penalty to hit. It's going to be at decreases because it's not going to be able to aim properly. But they're all going to open fire. Zach, the first 2 are going to be shooting essentially at you. And because you've elected to take the fire, I'm going to say that if you choose to roll speed defense, I'm going to roll to hit Joe. If you choose not to roll speed defense, Joe's not going to take any damage from these 2 attacks, but you will.
All right, no speed defense. I just have my shield up.
Okay, shield up, which is damage reduction, correct? Your armor? Is that right? It gives you an armor rating, I believe.
Asset on speed defense.
Asset on speed
Okay,
defense.
cool.
Never mind.
No. Hold on. That's going to change the narrative a little bit because typically speed defense is ducking and weaving. If you're using a shield and that's being calculated as speed defense as a narrative, then it counts. So I'm going to let you use your shield speed defense to try to protect. This is the benefit of being Captain America, man. Like if you're using that shield for defense, you get to use it. If you're not, what I was ruling is if you were ducking and dodging, clearly you're getting out of the way and they're going to shoot her. But if you're putting yourself in front and the speed defense is calculated by the shield, then you get to use it. So,
all right. Yeah.
In that case, that's going to give you an asset. So you are going to be rolling against a target number of 3. So you need a 9 or better.
Okay.
And there's ox points and
You guys are running out of ox points, but I will say you are using them wisely.
This is the good. Yeah, we got.
Everyone has been
looking at the
them
clock
wisely.
now. Use it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use an effort.
Okay.
And I have an edge in speed. Does that help at all?
Yes.
Yes.
Cost less.
It's going to cost less. Much
okay.
less.
So. Okie
You can use
dokie.
an ox point if you want to use an ox point.
And I'll use an ox point as
Thank
well.
you.
Okay.
So that drops it down to 1.
Mhm.
I rolled a 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good spends. Good spends.
So that's going to spend both of their attacks on you.
Ooh.
They are both going to open fire, and both of their attacks are essentially going to be nullified. So Your shield is absorbing plasma as it's slamming into the shield. You can feel it getting ultra hot on one side, and it is blistering up against your arm, but it holds. Surprisingly enough, the other two are going to open fire as well. This is going to be another speed defense check, except for they are not penalized. But it's going to be because you get a speed again. That shield's going to give you an asset, so you're going to be able to roll against both of them.
Thank you, Sam.
However, I am going to rule that the first two counted as a single roll. You're going to have to roll against both of these guys.
All right, let me pull out.
Right now, you need a 9 or better, but you need to roll it twice.
Okay. I don't think I should spend effort again. I don't think I can spend effort again. Can I?
It's on this. It's a different roll, isn't this? This is considered a different roll.
It's a different roll.
Yeah, so you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the risk, there's risk in spending effort.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So that only cost me 1, but I am now down to 10 speed.
Ooh, okay.
Let's see. I feel like I'm taking all of them.
No, you just
Well, it's up to you. Because keep in mind, Cynthia's locked in the room right now with the level 7 arch villain. So
you know what?
She might need them too. You guys are down to about 2 ox points left.
I'm gonna leave those for Dahlia.
No, that maths out though. 1 for you, 1 for Dahlia.
That's true. That's true.
Combust them if you have obtained them.
That's true.
I've got enough place to maybe take 2 or 3 shots. I don't think that Dahlia's tanky, so I would rather get shot than Dahlia get shot. So here we go.
9 or better.
I believe
all right,
I spent once a 6 or better.
Oh,
I rolled an 18 on one.
Okay.
And a 5 on the other.
Oh, by 1 again. By 1. Okay, so do you have any armor? You do have armor on though, don't you?
I do have armor. Yes, I am wearing a wet weave heavy armor.
Oh, okay. So we'll need. Don't worry about this now, but we'll need to track that in the future because when you wear heavy armor, that all effort costs 2 additional points to spend.
Oh, okie dokie.
Because it goes up by 1, 2, and 3. So it's if you're wearing heavy duty armor, it's actually 3 additional points to spend for effort because it's so heavy.
I am so sorry about
No,
that.
it's okay. Don't sweat it. This is like again, we're just according.
We're learning the system, so
yeah,
you're good.
Don't sweat it. It doesn't. We have a great scene happening right now, and Zach's doing what Zach does. So that gives you an armor soak, I believe. If it's heavy, it gets 3. Is that right?
Yes, it was my pride dice that came through for me.
Oh, right on. Well,
my bland cis die failed me.
Well, the good news is because you're wearing heavy armor, you take 1 point of damage as you get shot up. So that's gonna wrap your round out. We are now getting to the last person of this. Oh wait, this is the last round of this is her on the other side of the door right now. So she narrows her eyes for a second and she goes, "Oh, very good." And then she looks like she's about to move towards you. As your back is to her, you can feel her. It's like Jason Voorhees is coming up behind you. You know, you're like trying to get in the door, trying to get out as this thing is getting closer and closer to you. When she stops and goes, "It's here." And you hear this noise behind you. And nothing else happens. That's the end of that round. No death, no injury, no nothing happens. At the top of the round, whoever would like to go first, either one of you, whoever would like to go first. But you're essentially going to get the door open if you're going to keep at it, Dahlia, you'll be able to get the door open this round.
Yep, that's the plan.
Okay, so then your action will basically be getting the door open. You don't have to roll for it anymore because there's no impending death. That being said, Sam, Ozzy, you run over and deactivate the security, and the moment you press the buttons and it starts powering down, You glance up, and for a moment, you think you're back in your vision that you just had, because there she stands again, right in front of you. She
Lab
looks at
coat?
you. What's that?
Lab coat?
No lab coat. But she looks at you curious, and she goes, fascinating.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
I saw you standing in this very spot 100 years ago. And here you stand again.
It was 2 minutes ago for me.
What a curious place this is. She extends her hand and says, hand it over. Don't delay. Don't excuse. Don't try to postpone. I'm giving you one chance. Hand it over. Or die.
Eric, do I still have my action?
Yep.
I don't know if you know me the way that Dahlia knows me, but the whole no excuses, no talking, that's really not what I do. I think we talk this out. I think we figure this out. And I think we wait for all of these nice little robots and everything to shut down before we have a nice, calm discussion in Thrall.
Okay. So that is an auto. That's an ability you just get to do.
That's my
right?
ability for the lockdown
Okay.
concentration spell. But yeah, just keep talking. Filibuster the ability.
I think it's fair to tell you this. It is absolutely not working on her. You see her inch closer to you as you continue talking, and you feel the growing pressure as you use your enthrall ability. She inches closer. At that particular moment, though, dashing up next to you, almost shoulder checking you, is Orega, who grabs you by the arm and says, you can't beat her, let's go, and starts pulling you, and dashes, pulling you violently, jerks you into the hallway and like rounds the corner. You see too that clever little bastard, as he shoulder checked you, he's holding your device that was in your bag as he's dragging you along. You all see this crashing around the corner. You see he ducks underneath the wing of this pterosaur that is scratching and ripping the things up and destroying all the droids. Zach, you see the guy that threatened you outside of Silvercreek hand in hand, like at this point has Ozzy's hand and is pulling Ozzy, holding the device, running towards you. He rushes right past all of you. How he is moving as quickly as he is. Ozzy, it's all a blur to you as you're being pulled along. It feels like the corridor is moving. Not so much you running. It feels like the building is just moving past you. He screams as he rushes past all of you and says, everyone follow me, there's no stopping her. As he rushes right past. And as he gets to the room, as the doors open, he freezes as he sees Dahlia standing in front of him. And he goes, oh, fuck me. As he spots you, you see fear in his eyes as he slams on the brakes. And his action is going to end there as he comes to a stop. But he is screaming at everyone to follow him as he's running. But he stops as he sees you, Dahlia. And that's going to be that action. You are now everyone's together at this point. Everyone is in the corridor. What would you guys like to do now? The androids behind you are currently shutting down because of Ozzy and because of Joe. They're just going. It's not stopping Kimmy though, who is ripping apart their bodies, and you see jumping over the body. You just see Clover chasing after you guys, going, "What is happening?" As she runs up to you guys.
Zach's just going to
a lot is happening, Clover.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, there's a lot that's gone on, Clover. Like,
Zach's gonna retrieve his chainsaw sword.
You pull it out.
and he's just gonna yell "butterfly" and run towards the
Orega.
gentleman.
Okay. His reaction is he lets go of Ozzy and runs into the room that Dahlia is in.
Can I grab the device from him?
You can make the chance. Yes, you can try.
I feel use Ledgerman for that.
Yes, I'm going to use that ability.
Okay, you'll be
No, I think that's faking it though. Hold on.
yeah, you can make him think that you have it, or you can try to make him think that you have it.
Yeah, no, I actually want it.
But there are, as Sam has learned, there are some NPCs that actually have abilities that kind of just flat out be like, no, because it's kind of what they do. So what? Oh, but Sam looks like
Okay,
you're
but
coming.
which of us has the decoy? Le gentleman would cover Indiana Jones. Hot swap.
I do have the decoy.
I'm gonna talk to this guy. Hey man, like I don't know who you are.
So keep in mind, the scene is that he is running past you full tilt for fear of his life. So any attempt to talk to him is going to be as he rushes right past you. He's nuts. But also keep in mind too, the room he's running into there's no exit.
I'm gonna wait for him to calm down a second as he runs in.
Okay, so he rushes past you then. And by the way, Zach is hot on his heels.
Yeah,
and
I'm not talking. I'm swinging as soon as I get a chance.
Zach is going to rush past you as well. As this happens, the other Dahlia enters the corridor and simply throws up her hand. As that happens, Clover reaches all of you and turns around just in time to reach all of you. And you see this strange plasma energy wall of force emit from her hands and block Kimmy off from the rest of you. She just holds it up, just kind of seals off the rest. And she looks at you and she looks right at you guys, all of you, and says, "Give me the device or you all die now."
Oh, I think that'll change Saxon.
Yeah.
So we see this person and they look just like Dahlia.
Yeah, they're floating off the ground. They're not touching the floor. Their voice also sounds slightly modulated, like it's being spoken through a speaker of some kind.
Joe, give me the device.
Just
give me the device. Come on.
Okay.
And
And
no hiding this anymore.
it does take her a second to catch on, but then she pulls out the decoy and hands it to you.
Okay.
Here, is this what you want?
Give it to me! She shouts at you. Extends her
Stop!
hand.
No, don't give it to her! No, stop!
Stop. Let my friends go.
You may all live. Hand me the device.
Let my friends go, and then I'll give you the device.
They may
Dahlia, you
go.
can't!
Just
What?
listen. Let them go, and I'll give you this. You could do whatever you want to me. You could pull me apart. You could disassemble me. I don't care. Let them go.
There's no way out of here. None of you. She gets cut off, though, because at that particular moment, each of you is suddenly aware of a brilliant bluish white light that explodes inside the room behind you. As you see this huge force of energy just open up behind all of you. Anybody who glances back, you see Orego look at everyone. He's holding the device in his hand, and you see this rippling wall of energy. And he says, "Last chance." And he looks at you, Ozzy, and says, "Bring your friends. You've got two choices. Stay here, or," and he steps into the wall of energy and vanishes.
Joe looks at Ozzy like, what?
You have moments to decide what you're doing.
Oh, you're muted.
Did he bring the device with him?
You took it with him.
Son of a...
And
There's nothing I don't...
Dahlia at the end of the hallway seems to be catching on that what is being shown to her ain't the real thing, because the real thing just did what it did.
Run! I throw the decoy at myself, and I start running.
Okay. If Dahlia's throwing the decoy, I can make it explode midair, and I would like to do that and then follow.
Oh, okay. What does that do? It just causes an explosion?
So I have shatter.
Oh, nice.
And I've flavored it that she only interacts it with tech. But it's causing the detonation of an object you choose within long range.
Okay.
It deals 1 point of damage to all creatures and objects in the area.
Okay. Well, the good news is Kimmy is completely protected.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
behind a huge wall of force. All right. So that thing detonates and it seems to catch her by surprise. And in that
That's all I got.
moment, Joe, before you turn, in that moment, as the explosion goes off, you see her skin ripple. And as somebody who is tech savvy, you and Clover both glance at each other before you start running because it is digitally projected holographic exterior, like hard light. She is using some kind of camouflage, this Dahlia, to perceive or to give the impression that she is something else, but it is tech that she is using, whoever this is. And you see it ripple across her body for a second as the explosion goes off and she throws her hands up.
I'm very glad that you said that because I would like for two things to happen here.
Okay.
One, I would like to use the distraction of the shatter to give Kimmy the command to flee.
Okay.
And I would like to pull out my bow because now I know that there's tech involved, and I would like to do a shut it down attack.
Okay. You can totally do that. Just so you know, she is a difficulty 7 NPC. So you are going to be, that's what you're going to have to contend with.
The reason that I want to do this is I'm hoping that I can shut down whatever this force wall is, so I can call my drone back to me.
Oh, okay. In that case, well, so it's important to note that your drone would be able to get into this hallway, no problem. Kimmy is behind the opening of the door because she was attacking the other two drones that had surfaced behind Clover.
Okay, so
that's easy enough to just command it.
Okay. So Kimmy can get out safely. The drone can come to me safely.
Yes, because it's sort of a split through the doorway. So Kimmy will be able to get out, and the drone will be able to get in.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that Kimmy can't get down the hall to you guys.
Okay.
But make a roll difficulty level 3 to see if Kimmy knows that you're changing the command to flee. Because right now she is pretty dead set on kill, kill, kill.
Does this include my free asset because we're so close?
Yes.
I'm going to say it counts against because you just gave her a command to come rescue you.
You're right. So
it's going to be a flat roll of 3. So you need a 9 or better.
Oh,
and we are wrapping up. So if you want to spend that point,
you should maybe take
you want to spend that last ox point, you certainly can.
I rolled an 11. I'll just
just take it.
I'll live with that.
Kimmy, incredibly, you're being told to leave now. So
she snaps about it and shrieks a little bit, but she goes.
All right, you bolt, crashing out just as this little drone comes zipping in past this Dahlia clone.
And if I could, I'd still like to take this fuck you shot as I go through the portal.
You can take the fuck you. Okay, so let me get a snapshot. Is everyone deciding? No one's deciding to stay and fight. Everyone's deciding to follow into this portal.
Joe is going wherever Ozzy goes. Or wherever Ozzy
and
goes.
Ozzy's going where that device is because Ozzy's pissed. Okay.
I'd like to note that I'm missing out on my date.
Yeah.
You gotta stop calling it that. It was 4 Tyrannosaurus Rex coming to kill. You know what? We'll talk about it later.
You fire off the shot, Zach, and you turn to run, and you see your companions disappear, their silhouettes disappearing. Everyone looks hyper scared and afraid, except for Ozzy, who looks really like when Ozzy reaches the person on the other side of this energy field, they're gonna get strangled. So as you all dash towards, you take one last look behind to see this thing that looks like Dahlia is advancing quickly. You see her eyes flare up. You see the facade drop as she's advancing. And in place of Dahlia, you see a similar in build, this sort of organic looking white plastic armored skin that covers the entire surface of this femme presenting bot-like form, except for the face is completely jet black with 2 glowing blue eyes. And you see it like skin just kind of evaporates and folds down as hard light begins to shift from a holographic projection down into the exterior of what looks like some kind of force field. It's tech you've never seen before. It must be SATI. That's the only thing you can figure looking at it. And one by one, you all vanish, leaping into this wall of energy, except for it's not a wall of energy. As each one of you leaps into it, all of a sudden, your world twists in front of you, and you feel yourselves folding and being pulled. What you expected to be jumping through this hot energy field and into a new room somewhere, maybe in the facility, instead it feels like being dropped from height into the surface of a frigid swimming pool. And the portal itself feels like ice breaking across your face as you crash through it. And there's this sickening, nauseating sensation as all of you find yourselves surrounded by this purplish, nebulic, dark cloud. And then you are being pulled through a tunnel. Your body feels like it is disintegrating and reconstituting all at the same time. You feel yourselves starting to sort of get stretched and pulled and then reformed. And then you all wake up in a pile on top of each other with smoke lazily drifting off of you. The first thing you guys can hear is your breath, is you're just catching your breath, catching your breath, catching your breath. You're laying on what seems to be a catwalk of some kind. So it looks like it might be the interior of the facility. Until you glance up and notice that there is a ramp that goes down into a large open area where the floor is no longer this metal futuristic looking stuff. In fact, it looks like just glossy concrete. Your eyes are kind of adjusting as you're looking at the blurred shapes, but what you definitely see is wobbling to his feet. You see Rego slowly standing up and reacting as all of a sudden you see a bunch of other blurry forms come charging into the room. And you hear Orego utter some kind of swear as he turns around and with expert, deft, quick hands, slides the device right back to you, Ozzy. He just take that. And he puts his hands up. And one by one, you see a row of people get squat down, and you hear the clicking of what you think are weapons as you see people assuming what looks like a formation. Ozzy has his hands up. You hear footsteps of someone walking towards you all. And as you're getting your bearings, you see the people in front of you look different. They're wearing what looks like black tactical armor, looks like thick, heavy-set vests, and clearly they're holding weapons, but these black rifles, you're not sure you've seen their make before. None of you have any idea what you're looking at in this room. The tech here looks something like what you guys had back in Silvercreek, but not quite as polished or refined. And as everyone's trying to get their bearings, Ozzy, you catch your breath in your throat because parting through the crowd of people that are currently squatting and aiming weapons at you, you see a woman stepping forward. You've never seen her before in your life. But she's wearing a skirt and one of those weird neck things. The jacket. She takes a step forward and she goes, "You son of a bitch. You just opened a sealed recursion." And that's where we end tonight's game.
Well, I'm sure this will have no repercussions.
It'll be great. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool.
None
It's pretty cool.
whatsoever.
Woo! Happy Halloween!
That's going to do it for us tonight, my friends. If you could please join us next week as we go right off the cliff. Stay tuned for the credits and get a snapshot of what to expect. And until next Monday, we will see you whenever and wherever we are.
I was hoping you were going to give us a clue with that.
Have a good night.